playing the second base position, hitting .273. That's 3 for 11 so far this season. The righty delivers, and it's a fastball inside and high, but swung on and missed. And it's 0-2. That one cleaned at 42.
Yeah, well, that is incorrect. Maybe they meant 82 or 92. Probably 92. Real high heat from Hogan right now. Good job getting ahead. 0-2 in the count.
Vavra recently came off a concussion that he has suffered early in this season and came back yesterday for his first game since early on. That was against Hyannis. He went 2 for 4 with an RBI and 2 walks. 6 plate appearances. Shows the dominance of that Cotuit lineup against Hyannis yesterday. Now it's an 0-2 count coming in from Hogan as he tries to work a 1-2-3 inning in this bottom half of the first. Stares down his catcher, McIver, and methodically delivers the 2-2. Breaking ball hung up there at the shoulders. And the count now 1-2.
Yeah, 2 outs. Hogan just 1 pitch away from working a 1-2-3 inning here in the first. Really like to give his Gatemen offense something to be excited about.
The left-handed Minnesota Golden Gopher waits from Hogan. Breaking ball swung on, grounded to first. Sable has it, steps on first, and retires the side here in the bottom half of the first inning. No runs, no hits, no errors, and no men left on for the Cotuit Cavaliers. We'll go to the second. No score here on the Gatemen Baseball Network.
Listen to the game wherever you go with the Next Radio app. Catch this station's local broadcast or stream all the action right on your phone. Visit the Google Play Store and download the free Next Radio app today.
Baseball Factory, a proud partner of the Cape League since 1991, holds over 600 events nationwide for players ages 8 through 18, including 3 training weeks here in the Cape. Baseball Factory alumni have played on every Division I college program across the nation, plus 400 have made it to the majors. Visit baseballfactory.com to learn how you can build your way to greatness.
Friendly's Restaurants, a timeless tradition since 1935, is proud to be the official ice cream of the Cape Cod Baseball League and bring together 2 of America's favorite pastimes, baseball and ice cream.
The hottest bat in the Gatemen lineup is set to lead off for Wareham here in the top half of the second inning. No score between the Cotuit Cavaliers and the Wareham Gatemen. We thank you for listening into our broadcast here on the Gatemen Baseball Network. I'm Sam Corman, joined today by Connor Federico and Robbie Metz. We just mentioned the hottest bat in this lineup. He's 10 for his last 18. Impressive stuff there from Metz as he waits from Noah Davis, who gave up a hit in that first inning but got out of it. That pitch, a fastball outside, 1-0.
Yeah, Metz has seen the ball really well in his last 18 at-bats, high, low, inside, outside, driving the ball, pulling it, wherever he needs to slap for a base hit.
This one chopped foul, so the count will run to 1-1 on Metz, who has just 2 RBIs this year for Wareham out of George Washington University. First time this season that it's been a all George Washington middle infield, as Matt Feld mentioned before the broadcast. That George Washington middle infield led the league, the entire NCAA, in double plays. So something to watch for on the defensive side of the ball as the righty kicks and delivers on the outside corner. And it's now 1-2 on Metz. Another fastball there. It seems to be the 4-seam, 2-seam combination of Noah Davis that's really driving his pitches.
Yeah, but you got to watch for something off speed right here. You have the 1-2 against the Gatemen's hottest hitter.
This one grounded to short on the 1-2 pitch, played by Cone over to Tolia. Safe! Robbie Metz beats it out. A big infield single for Metz as the shortstop Cone kind of routinely played that one, but Metz was flying down the line, and he's able to get on first for a leadoff single here in the second inning.
Yeah, that one was just hit a little too softly for the shortstop, Cone. We saw him make a good play back in the first inning, had the infield in, and he made a good throw to beat Willie McIver at first base. But this time, he allows the leadoff runner on for the Gatemen, and that's really what Don Sneddon is looking for each and every inning. Get that leadoff guy on, move him over somehow.
John Topa back in the 6th hole today, and he takes a strike on the outside corner. That's a fastball again from Noah Davis. Topa's also been one of the best hitters in this Gatemen lineup. He's just been consistent. You know, this season, you've seen guys like McIver and you've seen guys like Dotson go on big hot streaks. Topa's been a guy that's just been consistent throughout the whole season, maybe getting 1 hit a game. Whether it be a single, a double, opposite field, pull side. That's a pickoff move over to first base. Metz scurries back well in ahead of the throw, as he does have some speed over there, Robbie Metz. As you just saw it, listen to it, as he grounded out the other way, but was able to beat out the throw to first. Topa in the right side takes a breaking ball low, and the count now 1-1 on Topa.
Yeah, Topa hitting much better than the 263 he hit for the Yukon Huskies this spring, and you got to wonder how much that collegiate season was still on his mind after Yukon narrowly missed the NCAA tournament.
John Topa, the Yukon Husky, swings and fouls this one towards the Cotuit dugout, a chopper, and it's 1-2 now.
Yeah, he pulled off that one a little bit. It was on the outside corner, and John Topa really needs to swing this bat towards the opposite field if he's going to get a pitch like that. That's how he's been successful. That's how he's had all the singles that he has this summer.
A .318 hitter so far this year with 14 hits and 44 at-bats. Another pickoff attempt as Metz gets back in time ahead of the throw from Davis over to Tolia. Interesting there, as it looked like the first baseman Tolia wasn't even trying to put a tag on Metz, as there could have been a decently close play there, as Metz did not slide. And now Davis waits as Topa steps out and now steps back in for his 1-2 pitch. 5 RBIs this season for John Topa. The 1-2. Grounded to the left side, and the shortstop, Cone, takes it over to second, not in time for the lead play. Metz beats out the throw from the shortstop, Cone, to the second baseman, Vavra, and they don't even throw to first as Topa was flying down the line. So first and second, nobody out for the Gatemen here in the second inning, and Blake Sable waits in the left side of the batter's box.
These 2 runners on and nobody out, all courtesy of Robbie Metz's speed. The first one, Robbie Metz gets his leadoff infield hit, and now he prevents John Topa from grounding into a play. It's going to be ruled a fielder's choice for Topa.
Sable shows bunt and fouls it away towards the Cotuit dugout. And it's 0-1. As that one came in, Sable looking to get the bunt on it, but the two-seam action might have fooled his bat a little bit.
Yeah, and it was a bit up high, too. And, you know, when you're bunting, you usually want to try to get a pitch between the waist and the knee level. Let's see if he does it again.
Here is the 0-1 to the lefty, Blake Sable. First and second, nobody out, and he fouls it away once again. So now Sable's got to swing away.
Yeah, and you can tell he's a little frustrated with himself right now. Wanted to put, that was a perfect pitch to put in play, pull down the first base line to sacrifice yourself and move the runners over. But now you're down 0-2. Gotta find a way to still move these runners over. It's going to be a lot harder now.
Noah Davis ahead in the driver's seat in this at-bat. It's 0-2 with runners on first and second. He deals just low to Blake Sable, and it's 1-2. As that fastball came in, and Davis might have wanted that one, but it was at the shins of Sable. Sable out of the University of Southern California. Some call that USC.
You got to correct myself, Sam, from a few pitches ago. John Topa has been given an infield single, not ruled a fielder's choice.
Interesting, given that it was the fielder's choice to Cone's choice to go to second. As Sable swings and misses at a ball in the dirt, it gets away from the catcher. Advancing to third is Metz. Topa holds on at first. Sable strikes out swinging, and there's one out here in the second.
Yeah, Robbie Metz had a really good jump on that ball just because of the angle that he was at, taking a secondary lead over at second base. As soon as that one got away from the catcher, Dillard, he was able to take off. John Topa leading off at first did not have the angle on that ball that got to the catcher's left and just a little bit behind him. So that's why Topa remains on first base. Wouldn't be surprised to see the Gatemen put him in motion, even though Nate Fosnot is certainly not a double play candidate with his speed.
And the catcher, Dillard, out to talk to Noah Davis. As a reminder that you can contact us anytime at pressbox@gatemen.org. Pressbox@gatemen.org. Feel free to shoot questions, comments, or concerns about the broadcast. As the righty Fosnot steps in for his first at-bat in a while after suffering that finger injury earlier on this season during practice. And he takes the pitch from Davis, swing and a miss. And it's 0-1 on Fosnot. Runners on the corners, 1 out for the Gatemen here in the second inning. They left a runner on third back in the first. Also was there with less than 2 out. There was 1 out when Tanner Dodson doubled and got into scoring position. So the Gatemen trying to break that trend of leading guys in scoring position. Ball behind the catcher, Dillard, but holding on at third is Metz. Advancing to second on the play is John Topa, as that pitch was in the dirt, got by the catcher, Dillard, wearing number 16. And now the Gatemen with 2 runners in scoring position, less than 2 outs, thanks to some passed balls.
Yeah, I think those might be 2 wild pitches from the pitcher, Davis, but, you know, they're balls that are going about 60, 61 feet. Gotta get the glove on it.
The pitch comes in outside, gets away from Dillard, and scoring on the play is Robbie Metz. It's 1-0 Wareham. On that might be a pass ball. Advancing to third is John Topa on the play. That ball did not bounce, it was just a little bit outside. And the catcher, Thomas Dillard, was unable to play it.
Well, yeah, you said it right there, Sam. The ball did not hit the dirt. I think something's happening to Dillard's confidence right now behind the plate. He just couldn't get the glove on that one. It was a pretty standard low and outside pitch that he could have backhanded.
The 2-1. Chopped high over the head of, he makes the play at third, fires the first wide. And safe at first on a wild play is Nate Fosnot. That one a high chopper, a good leap by the third baseman Cresto to make the play. But by the time he threw it over to first, the first baseman Tolia was pulled off the bag by that throw. Might have not even had enough time to beat the speedy Fosnot. And runners on the corners as Topa remains at third.
We've seen this happen to the Gatemen several times this season where the infield is in because you have a runner on third base, and then all of a sudden you get a ball hit that would have been a standard play had the infield been in standard position. Tough play there for the third baseman, Cresto, but he does save a run from scoring.
I jumped the gun. I thought that one might have automatically gotten over his head, but it did not, as he made a great play jumping up, just couldn't settle it down in time to make a clean throw as Angelini steps in and fouls the first pitch away towards the Gatemen dugout. It's 0-1. With 1 out, the Gatemen on top 1-0. And Ivan Gonzalez of the Cotuit Cavaliers is putting his catcher's gear on. It'll be interesting to see if the manager of Cotuit, which is Mike Roberts, might make a catching change here. As the runner goes from first and sliding into second safely is Fosnot, as the throw pulled the second baseman Vavra off the bag. Might have been safe anyway as Fosnot was flying in there. And now 2 runners in scoring position once again for the Gatemen. Fosnot is on second, Topa is on third.
Yeah, and I think the catcher Dillard threw that down to second without realizing that when your middle infielders are in, it's incredibly difficult for either of them to catch the ball and make a tag at second. Dillard should have held on to the ball there. Cotuit's lucky that wasn't a dangerous play.
Nick Angelini facing a 1-1. That pitch outside in the dirt, and a nice job there by Dillard to keep that one in front of him, as Topa was waiting at third trying to pounce on the opportunity.
Well, we've seen the Gatemen score several times this season on passed balls and wild pitches, but you didn't think it was going to come against one of the best teams in the league in Cotuit.
2-1 to Nick Angelini, wearing number 8 out of Bryant University. He takes the delivery. It's a high pitch. It's fouled away over the head of the catcher, Dillard, trying to get over to by the dugout, and the catch is dropped by the third baseman, Cresto. Might have lost it in the sun, but that ball near the base of the Cotuit dugout, a tough location as they were trying to avoid running into that fence, and it stopped right there short of it, and number 11 at third base, John Cresto, could not field it cleanly, so the count now runs to 2-2 on Angelini, who has 1 RBI for the Gatemen this season. A hit right now could double that total. The 2-2 pitch outside, 3-2. Davis wanted that one.
Low and outside, 94-mile-per-hour pitch. Great fastball there by Davis, but now you're 1 strike away from getting 2 outs in this inning, runners in scoring positions, and you're 1 ball away from loading the bases with 1 out for Gateman leadoff man Kyle Kasser.
Angelini waits the 3-2. Fouled away over our heads and out of play. So Angelini stays in the at-bat. That last foul ball pop-up over to towards the Cotuit dugout was scored, another E5. That's 2 errors in this inning on John Cresto. Haven't seen him bat yet, but he is probably the best batter in this Cotuit lineup so far this season. 3-2. Driven out to right center field and deep. And this one is gone. A 3-run shot for Nick Angelini. And the Gatemen take a 5-0 lead. 4-0 lead, excuse me, here in the second inning, as that's the first home run of the season for Angelini. And he went opposite field. We mentioned the wind before the broadcast. That might have helped it quite a bit.
3-2, 1 out, 2 runners on scoring position. You can't ask for anything better than that from your number 9 guy. A 3-run shot going the opposite way. Really impressive piece of hitting right there by Angelini, and I think this home crowd at Lowell Park right now, they are stunned. Last place team in the West has a 4-0 lead in the second.
The left-handed leadoff hitter, Kyle Kasser, steps in for his second at-bat. We're still in the second inning here. 1-0 on him. Noah Davis all of a sudden facing a lot of trouble here on 2 errors by his defense, specifically his third baseman Cresto, and some pass balls, some wild pitches. Have the Gatemen up by 4. It's 2-0 now on Kasser as he took that last pitch low. Kasser flew out to center field back in the first. Comes into this at-bat hitting .250. This one's driven out to right center field. It's going to drop. Kasser rounds first. He'll head to first, second, and he'll stop there. Kasser smartly turns around about halfway between first and second, has a nice job cutting off that ball by the center fielder Genista to keep Kyle Kasser at first base with a single with 1 out. But still, that is the 3rd hit this inning off of Noah Davis for the Gatemen, as the head coach Mike Roberts out to the mound to talk to his pitcher.
Yeah, not sure if there's a pitching change going on right now. I don't think so, because there's not a lot of action over in the Cotuit bullpen. But man, this was an inning for the Cotuit Cavaliers that got away from them very quickly. 2 infield singles, a strikeout, then you let up an error to Nate Foss, not allow him to get on base. Another error on your third baseman in foul territory for Nick Angelini. He could have been out with 2 outs in this inning, but instead he gets a 3-2 pitch and hits a 3-run homer. So quickly the tides turn on just very small moments, just very individual pitches. That's exactly how the Gatemen fell yesterday to Falmouth, and that's how the Gatemen are leading in this ball game right now, taking advantage of the little moments.
Angelini's home run was the 6th home run by a Gatemen hitter this season. The leader of the team, Tristan Pompey, is not in the lineup. He's out at the home run derby. The college home run derby, that is. That's out in Omaha, Nebraska. He made that trip along with Cotuit player Griffin Conine. No relation to Gatemen hitter Brett Conine. This pitch to Dodson on the outside corner. He showed bunt, pulled it back, and it was a strike anyway, so it's 0-1 on Dodson. Dodson doubled back in the first, was left stranded at third after McIver and Bonfield grounded out to end the inning. The runner on first is Kyle Kasser. He is the third consecutive Gateman to get on base, in the fifth this inning to get on base. Pickoff attempt at first base, not in time as Kasser dives back. Noah Davis remains in the game. Before this, he only had given up 2 runs all season. The 0-1 to Dodson. Swing and a miss. 0-2 on an inside changeup from Davis. Dodson coming into this at-bat, hitting north of 370. And he waits the 0-2. This one's going to be a pickoff attempt over to first once again. Not in time to beat Kasser, who dove back, trying to tire out the speedy leadoff guy out of Oregon.
And that's not surprising. The Gatemen are really getting runs this inning based on their speed. Got to be wary of that.
Dodson from the left side. That one's in the dirt, covered up by Dillard, and he holds on to it as Kasser held on at first base. So the count runs to 1-2 on Tanner Dodson. Trying to work back into a hitter's count. The University of California is Dodson. Had a pretty good day in that tough 8-4 loss to Falmouth 2 days ago. Went 2 for 5 with a double and a single. The 1-2. That one up high and outside. 2-2. As Kasser slowly watching, as when that count runs to 3-2, even though there's only 1 out, you might see a guy like Kasser take off for second.
Even right now on this 2-2 pitch with 2 strikes and one of your best hitters up, Tanner Dodson has successfully worked a hit and run before. He did it 2 days ago against Falmouth.
Dodson with an open stance, crowding the plate, waits on a breaking ball, and it's right to the shortstop. And past him for a base hit. Rounding second is Kasser. He's on to third, and on first with what should be a single is Tanner Dodson, as attempting to dive for that one was Zach Cohn. He looked like from our angle that he might have made the play, but it slipped right under his glove as he was diving to his right. And now runners back on the corners for the Gatemen, still just 1 out in an already 4-run inning. That will be scored, a base hit by Dodson.
As it should be. It was a good piece of hitting by Dodson with 2 strikes, working it the opposite way when the hit and run was on. Again, Tanner Dodson works the hit and run to perfection, moving Kyle Kasser over to third base. And we're only in the 2nd inning, Sam, and 6 of 9 Gatemen hitters tonight have base hits or more. A double for Tanner Dodson. He's now 2 for 2 on the day. Really impressive stuff. One of the guys who doesn't have a hit in this ball game, Willie McIver, he's up right now.
And quick pickoff attempt over to first base. Dodson dove back safely as Noah Davis now has to focus on Willie McIver, who's coming into this at-bat is 17 for 55 this season, hitting .310. That one swung on and missed, and McIver now down 0-2.
For my key to the game, Sam, it was take the lead. The Wareham needs to take the lead, and then they need to put on even more of a hurting. This is a great opportunity for them right now. You can't rest on your 4-run lead. Cotuit could easily come back from that. You have a runner in scoring position with 1 out. Willie McIver needs to find a way to drive Kyle Kasser home.
The 0-2 coming to Willie McIver. Grounded to third. Cresto fires to second for 1. On to first. Not in time. And the run scores. It's Kyle Kasser from third as Cotuit unable to complete that double play, allowing Kasser to come across. It's 5-0 Wareham on an RBI fielder's choice for Willie McIver. And that's McIver's first RBI since June 21st against the Hyannis Harbor Hawks. He got out to a red-hot start and slowed down a little bit, driving guys across, but now back in the RBI column. He goes for second on the first pitch. It's a breaking ball, and into second, he's safe. McIver with a stolen base. Another category that he's been doing really well in this season.
That's his 8th of the summer, I believe, and he just took advantage of Noah Davis not paying much attention to him because he's a catcher, because there's 2 outs in the inning, because Noah Davis just wants to get out of this inning, wants it to end. Great job by McIver.
Another runner in scoring position with Luke Bonfield at the plate, and he swings and misses at a breaking ball. It's 0-2 on Bonfield, one of the only guys in this lineup doesn't have a hit. Kyle Kemp is warming in the Cotuit Kettleers bullpen. Noah Davis, who's had some trouble this inning, now has an 0-2 pitch fouled away by Bonfield towards us on the Gatemen dugout side, on the first base side. And the bullpen warmer is Kyle Kemp, the right-hander out of Lipscomb in Nashville. Saw a few of his teammates for the Commodores yesterday. Lee Solomon was one of them, came in as a pinch hitter. The righty, Luke Bonfield, swings and misses. Strikes out swinging on Noah Davis, but the Gatemen get 5 runs on 5 hits, 2 errors. They leave 1 man on base. We'll go to the bottom half of the second. It's 5-0 Wareham here on the Gatemen Baseball Network.
We appreciate and thank the sponsors who support the Cape League and the 10 teams. Our corporate sponsors are the financial backbone of the league. It is with their support that we are able to preserve our long-standing tradition of providing the best family entertainment here on Cape Cod. On behalf of the visiting team, the Wareham Gatemen, league officers, and the entire Cape League family, we would like to announce and thank our 2017 corporate sponsors. With much appreciation, we recognize the Yawkey Foundation, Chatham Bars Inn, the Fuller Family Foundation, Dunkin' Donuts, Curry College, Cape Cod Healthcare, the 99 Restaurants, Coca-Cola Bottling of Cape Cod Potato Chips, Friendly's Ice Cream, Baseball Factory, Cape and Island License Plate, 47 Brand, Cape Cod 5 Cents Saving Bank, Stop and Shop, Peapod. We'll be back to you in the next inning for the second half of this outstanding list of loyal sponsors.
Oh, how the tides can turn here in the great game of baseball. Nick Angelini popped into foul territory. It was a routine-looking play for John Cresto, but made the error. And later in that at-bat, Nick Angelini shot one out to right field for a 3-run bomb, gave the Gatemen a 4-0 lead. They would add 1 more on, and now lead the Cotuit Kettleers 5-0 here in the bottom half of the second inning. We didn't know that Nick Angelini had that type of power, but shot that one out opposite field. Pretty impressive piece of hitting.
Well, had a couple of home runs this year for the Bryant Bulldogs during the spring, and we hadn't seen a home run from him yet. But he really smacked that one towards the opposite field, got a lot of help from the wind. I mean, it would have been a 2 RBI double or triple anyway, but it just got over the fence. Really good piece of hitting with 2 strikes, 2 runners in scoring position, pressure situation. Angelini comes through.
Chandler Avant steps in here in the bottom half of the second. Hogan delivers on the inside corner for a strike to Avant out of the University of Alabama.
Yeah, don't think that Hogan is going to take this lead lightly. He probably appreciates the 5-run lead, but he wants to keep it that way.
He kicks and delivers. Check swing from Avant, and they say he went around. So a good pitch on the outside corner. A fastball from Hogan makes it a quick 0-2 count. Needs to get ahead, and he has done just that. The 0-2 coming in. Hogan in the blue Gatemen road uniforms delivers a breaking ball inside, and it's now 1-2 on Avant.
Yeah, see that curveball working really well from Hogan. You just got to be careful that you don't leave that one up too much like he just did. That's a ball that can be taken a long, long way.
The 1-2 from Hogan, swung on and drilled out to left field and in for a base hit. It's cut off nicely by Topa, and stopping at first with a leadoff single is Chandler Avant out of Alabama.
Well, Avant finally has Cotuit's first hit of the day. It was a really good at-bat for Miller Hogan. He finds himself with a 2-strike count early. Doesn't let the hitter get ahead of him, but he gives that high curveball taken for a ball, allowed Avant to get his head back in the at-bat, and just drives that pitch for a base hit.
Avant, the DH, now waiting on first with nobody out here in the bottom half of the second, and he'll hope that Zach Cohn can get a clutch hit here as a pickoff attempt by Hogan over to first. Not in time as Avant dives back.
Cone, a pull hitter for Cotuit. Jimmy Francos, one of the assistant coaches for the Gatemen, giving instructions to the outfield, specifically right fielder Luke Bonfield, to move over towards the left.
Another pickoff attempt. That one pulled Sable off the bag. He does a nice job making sure that one doesn't get by him. If so, Avant would have been on second base pretty easily. Now Zach Cone waiting for the first pitch from Miller Hogan out of the stretch. And it's low. 1-0 coming up on Cone out of Duke. Hit .291 for the Blue Devils this season. Also more than a hit per game, 68 hits in just 57 games this year for the Blue Devils. The 1-0 fouled away straight back, and it lands just to the right of that Cotuit Kettleers C behind home plate, and it's 1-1.
Hogan doing a good job. His first batter he's had to face in the stretch. 1-1 count right now. But he fell behind 1-0. It was the first time that he's done that since he faced the leadoff batter, Grayson Janista, and got him to pop out to Robbie Metz.
Hogan gets the pitch selection from Willie McIver and now delivers. Chopped over Hogan's head to the second baseman. Metz tags out the runner on to first, not in time. Almost a beautiful play by Robbie Metz as he had almost had that double play, but he tags out Avant right in the baseline and then fires over to first. But by that time, Zach Cone, who stole 12 of 18 bases this year for Duke, was well down the line and at first base with a fielder's choice.
Yeah, really good awareness there by Robbie Metz. He might not have had Cone at first even if he didn't tag Avant. So big play right there. You get a soft chopper, almost takes you out of the baseline, but Metz has the awareness to tag out the runner for the first out of the inning.
John Cresto, easily the best hitter so far this season for this Cotuit lineup, steps in from the right side. Takes the pitch from Hogan. It's in there for a strike. 0-1. Cresto hitting .346 this season.
He'll be looking to make up for those two mistakes he made in the top half of this frame.
Cresto comes in 18 for 52, hit .307 this year for UC Santa Barbara. Was drafted to the MLB in 2015 by the Chicago Cubs, but chose to attend college. 0-1 from Hogan. He kicks and delivers just low on a fastball on the outside part of the plate. Framed pretty decently by McIver, but just a little bit low to get that called strike, and it's 1-1 on Cresto. Cresto has 2 home runs this year, so in a 5-0 game, he's probably thinking long ball. That one, a pickoff attempt over to first, a quick swiping tag by Sable, but not in time.
He might be thinking long ball, but it's not the mindset you want to have when you're down by this many runs. You really just want to get on base and allow the guys after you to do something.
This is a guy that had 16 doubles this year. Swing and a miss on the outside part of the plate, and it's 1-2 as Hogan fooled him on that changeup.
Yeah, now with the 1-2, like to see Hogan either stick with the changeup and the curveball, but make sure to keep it outside the strike zone, or you go high fastball here, which none of the Gatemen pitchers have really done this summer so far.
Cresto, the San Diego native, waits from Hogan, the Kansas City native. Swing and a miss. And that one, a breaking ball, fooled Cresto. The first strikeout of the day presented by the law offices of Lang, Exofaris, and Bullard. And the Gatemen have 2 out here in the bottom half of the second. Waiting on first is Zach Cone.
Yeah, Hogan, that's his first strikeout of this outing. And he's sort of doing what Justin Glover did the other day for the Gatemen. Really working his pitches down in the strike zone, not strikeout pitches, but letting his defense do the work for him.
Michael Tolia steps in. The righty Hogan delivers, and this one's fouled away down the first baseline. Good contact on the first pitch from Tolia, who's really been struggling this season at 4 for 26.
Yeah, Gatemen pitchers, a lot of them have strikeout ability, but over the past 3 days in 2 games, we've really seen two starting pitchers who rely on the strikeout and those who don't. Justin Glover and Griffin Roberts both had really great outings. Difference was Glover had 1 strikeout through 5, and Griffin Roberts had 7 strikeouts through 5 innings.
Tolia at a UCLA takes a pitch in the dirt. Nice job by McIver. On to second as going was the runner at first. In time. A beautiful throw by McIver to Robbie Metz to beat the runner. Zach Cohn in the side is retired here in the second inning. No runs on 1 hit, no errors, and no men left because of that beautiful throw from McIver. We're on to the third. It's 5-0 Wareham here on the Gatemen Baseball Network.
Continuing with our corporate sponsors, we also want to recognize and thank Franklin Sports, Advanced Embroidery, Cape Destinations, Robert B. R., Sullivan Tire, Vacation Inn Cape Cod Veterinary Specialists, Cape Cod Times, Kinlan Grover Real Estate, Next Radio, Yellow Book, TSA, Rawlings, Cape Cod Chamber of Commerce, Highline Cruises, Sports Picks, On Deck Sports, Barnstable Bat, Hyannis Area Chamber of Commerce, H.P. Hood, Sunderland Printing, and Axis Bats. And of course, thank you to Major League Baseball for over 50 years of support.
Urgent care is now available at 4 Cape Cod healthcare locations: Hyannis, Falmouth, Sandwich, and Harwich. Open after hours and weekends, staffed by ER physicians, expert care when you need it. Learn more at capecodhealth.org/urgent care.
Welcome back here. It's the top half of the third inning. The Gatemen have a 5-0 lead, and the guy who started that big second inning off is now up to the plate. Once again, it's Robbie Metz, who singled in his first at-bat, came around to score. As that Gatemen lineup batted around all 9 hitters in the second inning on 5 hits, as Noah Davis back on the mound for Cotuit. Saw some struggles there in the second, but struck out the last batter he faced in Bonfield. And he deals to Metz. It's fouled away. Down the line, playing it is the right fielder Lewis, and he makes the catch.
Yeah, you know, in regards to Davis's last inning, when he got himself in trouble, I think he really did what he had to do in terms of pitching. He, you know, with 1 out, runners on second and third and first rather, he got a ground ball. Error by the third baseman Cresto, and then, you know, with runners in second and third and 1 out, which should have been 2 if there was no error, Cresto again drops a foul ball near the dugout.
Stepping in now is John Topa, and he takes a ball outside to start his at-bat. Topa reached on a fielder's choice back in the second, came around to score.
Which was ruled an infield single, so he is 1 for 1.
Okay, so he's 1 for 1 on the day. It's now a 2-0 count on him as that pitch was outside. It might have been the 2-seamer coming in from Noah Davis. As Davis now behind it in another count, delivering pretty quickly, kicks again and fires. That one in there for a strike at 90 miles an hour, 2-1 on John Topa. Topa with 5 RBIs so far this season. He's been a pretty timely hitter for the Gatemen, despite that number. Now in the 6th hole today. 2-1. That pitch was outside as it ran from the inside part of the plate out towards the outside part and came off the edge. 3-1 now from Davis.
We've seen John Topa hitting the 5, 6, 7, and 8 spots this season for the Gatemen. I think he's been best in the 6 and 8 hole.
Here's the 3-1, chopped foul down the third baseline. As that one was once again shaping away from the hitter Topa, who's on the right side of the batter's box. And the count now runs full from Davis. With 1 out here in the third inning, the Gatemen holding on to a 5-0 lead. Davis delivers. And this one's chopped to the third baseman, Cresto. He handles it, fires over to first in time for the second out. So Topa is retired 5-3. And there's 2 outs here in the third inning for Noah Davis. That's a big first 2 outs for him after what happened last inning.
Yeah, and that play over at third base to Cresto was eerily similar to the hard high chopper that Nate Fosnot hit as his the fourth at bat back in the second inning. Cresto this time picks it out of the sky over his head, makes a calm, cool, collected throw on first base.
Blake Sable struck out swinging in the second inning, and he takes a breaking ball in the dirt. 1-0 to him. The first basemen in this game are dead rivals. Tolia over at first, UCLA. Sable playing first for the Gatemen out of USC. So no love lost between today's first baseman. Sable takes the 1-0, slaps it into right field for a base hit. Coming on is the right fielder Lewis, cuts it off and gets it into the infield, so a 2-out single for Sable. And the Gatemen continue to get hits from most guys in this lineup early on in this game, as Sable was one of the guys that did not have a hit before this third inning and now adds one to his resume.
Good job of 2-out hitting, situational, just taking a ball on the inside corner and driving it to right center field. Lefty does a good job.
Noah Davis now in the stretch with 2 outs facing Nate Fosnot. That pitch outside, Fosnot coming back from that finger injury, reached on an error in the second inning in his first at-bat, also stole second to get into scoring position. Eventually came around to score on a Nick Angelini 3-run shot. 1-0 coming in. Swing and a miss on a fastball from Davis. 1-1 on Fosnot.
You know, it was ruled an error back in the second inning, but it's really because of Fosnot's speed that he forced an errant throw from Cresto. You can't underestimate the speed in this Gatemen lineup and how it helps them generate runs.
Fosnot, an A10 all-rookie team player this year. Runner goes on the 1-2. Pitch in the dirt. Sable safe at second on the stolen base. The third stolen base, for the Gatemen this game already, as they're showing off the speed here against this Cotuit defense.
Second stolen base by a catcher in this game. Sable is a first baseman, but listed as a catcher, does the catching for the USC Trojans.
Now a 2-1 to Fosnot, off the glove of the third baseman and into left for a base hit. Rounding third and coming home to score is Blake Sable. It's 6-0 Wareham on what should be a hit from Nate Fosnot.
Whether it's a hit or not, the 6th run still goes on the board for the Gatemen. Tough break right there for Cresto. If it's not ruled a base hit, it's going to be his 3rd error of this baseball game. And, you know, it was a really line shot over his head, but he did get the glove on it.
Absolutely a base hit, confirmed from the scorekeeper, as that one was laced towards the glove of Cresto. He had no time to react, as the first pitch to Nick Angelini is a ball in the dirt. We'll flash back to the second inning. Angelini hit a 3-run homer opposite field. And that one was long gone, as both the center fielder Genista and the right fielder Lewis watched it fly. That one, a fastball on the outside corner to Angelini, and the count is even at 1-1.
2-out rally here for the Gatemen. The first batters were retired, Robbie Metz and John Topa. Now you flip the script from what happened in the second inning, where Metz, leadoff runner, got himself on, came around to score. The Gatemen showing they can do it both ways.
And the 2-out rallies were the method of production for the Falmouth Commodores, as a balk on the pitcher Noah Davis on a pickoff move, and advancing to second on that is Fosnot. Another runner in scoring position for Wareham on something that probably shouldn't have happened.
I think the ball just slipped out of the hand of the pitcher, Davis. Really tough break for him. You put speedy runner in scoring position.
Angelini, with 3 RBIs so far in this game, takes the 1-2, and it's in the dirt. Good job by Dillard to cover that one up. Count runs to 2-2. Count runs to 2-1.
Good eye there by Angelini. With last time he had a 3-2 count, hit a home run to right field. 2-1 here.
He takes the 2-1 outside. 3-1 on Angelini. Another hitter's count for this Gatemen lineup As we mentioned, the 2-out rallies were the means of production for the Falmouth Commodores yesterday, as they came back with 2 outs in the 8th. 2 consecutive doubles made that a 4-2 game, and then they tied it with 2 outs in the 9th. Grounded back up the middle, tough play for the shortstop Cohen, on to first Atolia, and the side is retired on a ground out from Nick Angelini. The Gatemen get another run on 2 hits, no errors, and leave a man on base. We'll go to a quick game break with Jacob Toby. Jacob?
All right, thank you very much, Sam. Hyannis and Brewster, they're all tied up at 3 in the bottom of the 4th there in Brewster. A 3-run bottom of the 3rd for the Whitecaps. Michael Gasper, an RBI single. His 17th RBI is good for 2nd in the Cape League. Bourne and YD, 2-0 lead for the Red Sox over the Braves. They are in the bottom of the 3rd. Kyle Isbell with an RBI double for YD. 2 late games tonight starting at 7. First, the Commodores will visit the Anglers at Veterans Field in Chatham, and Harwich will visit Orleans for a 7 p.m. first pitch. Guys, back to you.
It's the bottom half of the 3rd inning. Miller Hogan back on the mound. And it's been a theme this year for the Gatemen pitchers, who kind of go a few innings and then a few really good innings and then kind of come back to struggle a little bit in the later innings. Miller Hogan now working into his 3rd inning of work. What's the key for him to continue what he's done?
Well, the last time he was out against the Falmouth Commodores, he had 2 really strong innings, giving up no runs. And then in his 3rd inning of work, he gave up a 3-run home run to Cam O'Neill, who was the 2-batter that day for Falmouth, but usually their 9-hitter. The Gatemen have a home run today from their 9-hitter, and it's Nick Angelini. So Miller Hogan, you can't reflect on the first 2 innings too much. Use it to your advantage. See how you can pick apart this Cotuit lineup. But the 7, 8, 9 guys on this Kettleers team, they have plenty of talent, and just because you got through the first 2 innings cleanly doesn't mean you're going to get through the 3rd. So he really has to look out for that. If he can get through this 3rd inning, it would be really successful, and I think the Gatemen should be watching him carefully.
And as of now, we'd probably expect this to be Hogan's final inning of work, no matter what happens, as Grant Wolfram is in the bullpen for Wareham. He's out of Davenport College in Michigan. The pitch from Hogan comes in low to Michael Tolia, who started his at-bat in the 2nd but was unable to finish it, as Zach Cohen was thrown out at 2nd trying to snag a base on a errant pitch. But a nice job from McIver on that play. This one's chopped down the line towards first, but foul. Tolia out of UCLA in his first at-bat of the game. The first 6 batters of this lineup have been retired. The Cotuit does have a hit. It was Chandler Avent out of Alabama starting that 2nd inning with a hit. He was eventually tagged out on a fielder's choice, and then Cohen was thrown out at 2nd. So 6 up, 6 down in a way for Miller Hogan. That one on the outside corner. A good pitch there from Hogan to make it 1-2, getting ahead in these counts, as that's been the main issue for him in his previous outings, was falling behind with that off-speed stuff and with the fastball, not getting ahead in the count. 1-2 on Tolia. Coming in from the St. Louis Billiken, the breaking ball just outside. Good pitch, though, on 1-2. Good idea from Hogan.
That ball dropped right out of the sky. It started at Tolia's knees and then just fell out of the strike zone. Good pitch by Hogan on 1-2.
Hogan, the Overland Park, Kansas native, delivers on the inside corner, called strike 3. Tolia down looking. The 2nd strikeout of the day presented by the law offices of Lang, Exafaris, and Bullard. And that's Hogan's 2nd consecutive strikeout. So he looks to be heating up here, as it's the 2nd batter, Miles Lewis, that looks to break his good streak here.
Yeah, and Hogan's done a really good job. Did get some help from his defense, specifically his catcher, Willie McIver. But he's working through this Cotuit lineup really well right now.
Miles Lewis on the first pitch fouls it away towards the Gatemen dugout. It's now 0-1 on him. Lewis, a Wisconsin native, went to North Dakota, the University of North Dakota, down in Grand Forks, North Dakota. That was back in 2016. Then transferred to the University of Michigan, where he spent last season. Hit .296. And this guy has speed, so Hogan has to watch out if he puts him on. But he's not worried about that. That was a nice pitch on the inside part of the plate up near the belt. And it's 0-2 immediately on Lewis, as Hogan's just firing in strike after strike right now. He's now thrown 5 strikes this inning compared to just 1 ball. Delivering the 0-2, the righty Hogan, breaking ball on the inside corner, called strike 3, as Miles Lewis was utterly fooled by that curveball. The second out of the inning, the second strikeout of the inning, presented by the law offices of Lang, Exafaris, and Bullard. And Thomas Dillard, the catcher, gets his first sight at Miller Hogan today.
Yeah, really impressive back-to-back at-bats for Miller Hogan. And, wow, just getting 2 batters down looking, coming dangerously close to doing what Noah Zavalis did a couple nights ago. I mean, 3 up, 3 down, all on backwards Ks.
That pitch to Thomas Dillard is low, 1-0 by Hogan. Dillard, a hometown boy out of Ole Miss, Oxford, Mississippi native. Spent his freshman year with the Rebels, hit .206 with 4 home runs, 12 RBIs. This one's chopped right in front of the plate. Tough play for Hogan. Picks it up, fires over to first in time, and he retires the side. 1, 2, 3. We'll go to the 4th inning. The Gatemen hold a 6-0 lead over the Cotuit Kettleers here on the Gatemen Baseball Network.
The Fuller Family Foundation is proud to support the excellent sportsmanship and character of the Cape Cod Baseball League.
Earn a bachelor's or master's degree, complete a certificate, or take a single course through the Division of Continuing Education and Graduate Studies at Curry College. Classes run days, evenings, and weekends in Milton and Plymouth. To learn more about programs in business, criminal justice, education, nursing, and more, visit curry.edu.
The Wareham Gatemen and the visiting team, the Cape Cod Baseball League, and the NCAA promote good sportsmanship by student athletes, coaches, and spectators. We request your cooperation and positive support of the participants and officials. Profanity, racial or sexist comments, or other intimidating actions directed at officials, student athletes, coaches, or team representatives will not be tolerated and are grounds for removal from this ballpark.
Welcome back here on the Gatemen Baseball Network. The Wareham Gatemen lead the Cotuit Kettleers here in Lowell Park by a score of 6-0. Noah Davis has a rough outing, going 3 innings, giving up 6 runs, only 2 of which were earned. 8 hits, 2 strikeouts, no walks nor hit by pitches. And the new pitcher for the Kettleers is Kyle Kemp out of Lipscomb, coming in here from Port Charlotte, Florida. A 5.02 ERA for Lipscomb this season in 17 appearances, a 2-to-1 strikeout to walk ratio, and a .262 opposing batting average for Kemp. No relation to Matt Kemp.
We also have a new catcher behind the plate for the Cotuit Kettleers. It's Ivan Gonzalez. He's going to replace Thomas Dillard, who really struggled defensively, and then in his only at-bat, just grounded out right back to Miller Hogan. So Cotuit making some substitutions here. Gotta hope you can get back into this game however possible.
So Gonzalez is the new catcher out of West Virginia, and he's taking pitches from a new pitcher. It's Kyle Kemp, an always stretch pitcher. Delivers from the stretch to the lefty Kyle Kasser. Outside corner, 0-1.
Yeah, Kyle Kasser just had some success back in the 2nd inning, hitting a single, scoring a run himself. Really like what he's brought to this Gatemen team since he arrived from the University of Oregon.
Kasser takes a 0-1 pitch, breaking ball inside, 1-1.
Casa brings speed, he brings intelligence, looking down pitches at the top of the lineup. Really great defensive third base, shortstop, wherever you need him.
Kasser takes a 1-1 pitch outside. 89 miles per hour on that one. 2-1 from Kemp.
Yeah, and Kemp's job is to come in here right now and shut down these Gatemen hitters. 6-0 lead, that's going to be tough for the Cavaliers to come back from, but if it becomes any more than that, you're definitely not going to win this game.
The 2-1 is high, so it's a 3-1 count on Kyle Kasser. He's in the driver's seat of this at-bat. Already 1 for 2 today here in the 4th inning. Coming into this at-bat, 6 for 21 on the season. Out of the University of Oregon, we'll be seeing a fellow rival arriving on this team as he takes a ball 4 outside. So Kasser moves on to first with a leadoff walk here in the 4th inning. Not what Kyle Kemp wanted as he begins his first inning of work.
Well, yeah, that's a tough way to go against your first batter, especially the leadoff guy who can steal plenty of bases, and he's taking a sign from the dugout right now. See if Don Sneddon wants to continue the trend of stealing bases for the Gatemen and keep this lineup going. When you have a guy like Tanner Dodson at the plate right now, want to see what he can do.
Dodson steps in from the left side, swings and misses at a breaking ball. It's 0-1 from Kemp. The Gatemen Baseball Network would like to remind you that you can contact us anytime by emailing pressbox@gatemen.org. It's pressbox@gatemen.org. Please feel free to send us your questions or comments, and we'll make sure to address them as soon as possible. The 0-1 coming in to Dodson from Kyle Kemp out of the stretch. The righty deals, fastball fouled away. Dodson now in a hole, 0-2. He's 2 for 2 so far today with a double and a single. And he was also down 0-2 back in the 2nd inning. So he's certainly not out of this at-bat. Make sure you're keeping up with all the Gatemen action 24/7 as well by following the Wareham Gatemen on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, and SoundCloud. Thank you for joining us here on the Gatemen Baseball Network. The 0-2 is outside to Kasser. It's 1-2 now. And Brian Rapp is the new bullpen warmer for the Cotuit Cavaliers. Kyle Kemp only in his 2nd at-bat of the game on the mound. Dodson trying to work back into a hitter's count. The California Golden Bear awaits the 1-2, a breaking ball that winds up outside on the lefty Dodson, and it's 2-2 now. Kind of similar to his last at-bat. Kemp down 0-2.
Kemp hasn't thrown a bad pitch yet, Sam. All of these balls are really close to the strike zone. He's just had some tough luck that these Gatemen hitters at the top of the lineup, Kasser, Dodson, McIver up next, they all have great eyes.
Very patient in the batter's box is Tanner Dodson. Now a 2-2 pitch. That one's outside. Another pretty good pitch there from Kemp. Just missed. And the full count now on Dodson.
Yeah, he really hasn't missed by much, and when he does, he really hits the spots of his catcher perfectly.
Runner on first is Kyle Kasser here in the 4th inning. Runner goes and fouled away as the hit and run was on for the Gatemen with 3-2 and no outs here in the 4th.
That hit and run, which Tanner Dodson worked successfully back in the 2nd inning, lining the ball to the shortstop cone while he was going over to cover second base on a steal attempt.
Now Kasser waiting on first. Could see him go again on 3-2. Tanner Dodson, as the pickoff attempt comes towards first base, Tolia doesn't even put a tag on Kasser as he was back pretty easily. And now Kyle Kemp getting the signs from his catcher, gets into his delivery, and begins the 3-2 pitch. Inside ball 4, Dodson works a walk as Kasser was going. He's on second anyway. And 2 consecutive walks for Kyle Kemp have the Gatemen back in action here in the 4th inning. And no hits and 2 on. Good plate discipline, though, as Kemp just missing on most of those balls, barely outside on most of those pitches.
Yeah, you know what happened, Sam? The last time the Gatemen had their first 2 runners on, it was back in the 2nd inning. Metz and Topa both had infield singles. They both came around to score in part from a 5-run inning.
McIver shows bunt. It's popped up into the catcher's glove. Dillard makes the play. Excuse me, that's Gonzalez that makes the play, the new catcher for Cotuit. And an attempted bunt botched by William McIver. And there's one down.
Well, I like the idea you send one of your best hitters up to the plate and you just tell him to lay down a bunt. He's a little unsuccessful, though. The end of the bat just got up in the air a little too much, and that's how you're going to pop the ball up. Tough play there for McIver, tough for the Gatemen, and now the situation really changes. You can get these runners across. It just becomes a little more difficult.
The pitch comes in. It's a breaking ball to Bonfield that's fouled away down the line.
Bonfield was all over that pitch, a hanging curveball. He was just a little too early on it. If he had waited just a second more, he would have driven that one just right along the third base line and maybe for an extra base hit, a couple of RBIs. He'll be looking for that pitch again. If he sees it, he's going to hit it out of Lowell Park.
Bonfield making himself quite a hole out there in right field, as he's played the past few games out there for the Gatemen. We've also seen him at first a few times. And on second is Kasser, as this one's popped up towards the first baseline. Going to be a tough play for Tolia, and he makes the play behind the Gatemen dugout. 2 out here on 2 foul outs. First from McIver on a bunt attempt. Second from Bonfield on a opposite field pop-up down the right field line. And the first 2 men get on for the Gatemen, but they're unable to capitalize so far. Robbie Metz steps in. He's 1 for 2.
Yeah, good job by Tolia ranging into foul territory right there, making the play. Degree of difficulty on that one was pretty tough. You go all the way to the fence here at Lowell Park, pretty much out of our line of sight.
Robbie Metz was 2 for 20 to start his season. He is now 13 for 40. So do the math, he's 11 for his last 20, over 500 since that rough start. And he's trying to continue that surge right now with 2 men on, 1 in scoring position. It's Kyle Kasser at second. Dodson waits at first, 2 out here in the 4th. The righty Metz swings at the first pitch, fouls it away off another breaking ball from Kyle Kemp. Seeing a lot more breaking balls out of his hand than we did out of Davis. Davis had that 1-2 fastball punch. Now the Gatemen trying to adjust to a consistent breaking ball pitcher here in Kemp now. The second pitcher of the game for Cotuit.
Well, yeah, you go from a righty in Davis where the 2-seamer, if it moves, it's going to move towards you as a righty batter. Now a curveball that's going to move away from you. It's tough to change.
The 0-1 fouled away towards the press box behind home plate by Robbie Metz, and it's 0-2 now on him. So Metz coming in, swinging away, being pretty confident with the bat, as he should be. And now he's down in the count 0-2, as Kemp trying to work out of this first and second nobody out jam that he put himself into. 2 consecutive walks to start this inning. Metz second on his George Washington squad this season with a .339 batting average, behind former Gateman Joey Bartosik. And that one low, Metz goes around, and he strikes out swinging. The Gatemen get no runs on no hits, no errors, and they leave 2 men on base. We'll go to the bottom half of the 4th on the Gatemen Baseball Network. It's 6-0 Wareham.
Do you know what that sound is? That's your new digital marketing department. And that'll be your new web designer. And that's Haibu, where these experts are joined by many more, from web designers to search marketing specialists, who work hard to get your business noticed online and on mobile. Best of all, Haibu can do it all for you, or give you the tools to do it yourself. To find out more, go to haibu.com. That's HIBU.com, or call 855-464-HIBU. Oh, that'll be your next new customer. Haibu, made for business.
Red Shirt Fridays is a national program created to acknowledge, honor, and support our troops who put themselves in harm's way to defend our freedom. In support of this program, the Cape League teams will be wearing a specially designed red jersey every Friday. This special weekly celebration of Red Shirt Fridays is sponsored by 47 Brand, HP Hood, Cape Cod Regional Transit Authority, Advanced Embroidery, and the Cape League. Support our troops and join us by wearing red each Friday.
Welcome back here. It's the bottom half of the fourth inning. The Gatemen holding a 6-0 lead over the Cotuit Kettleers. Miller Hogan back on the mound for his fourth inning of work. He's held the opposition to just one hit so far. Also has struck out 3, including 2 called strike 3s back in the third inning. Back to the top of the lineup for Cotuit as Grayson Genista steps in. Something to look forward to. In the top half of the sixth, it will be joined by
Cooper Ferris, former Gatemen head coach from 2 years ago.
So that's something to look forward to in the top half of the sixth inning. But right now, Cotuit trying to work themselves back into this game. First pitch to Genista is fouled away down the third baseline. No play for Topa in left.
Yeah, check swing right there by Genista. Good pitch by Miller Hogan, fooling the batter. You know, all these breaking pitches, when you're a lefty, they're going to come right in toward your hands. And that's the advantage that Hogan has, pitching to the opposite-handedness.
The lefty, Grayson Genista, out of Wichita State, now dealing with an 0-1 count. Hogan methodically delivers the high leg kick, fouled off the hand of McIver. He looks to be a bit shaken up, but he shakes it off, and it's 0-2 now.
Yeah, I think he's fine. He's joking around right now with Genista. Just, you know, take a little stinger off the hand real quick, and that's why you always preach for a catcher to keep their throwing hand behind their back.
Genista out of Wichita State, also a Kansas native. So a Kansas native on Kansas native right now in Hogan versus Genista. And the 0-2 is a little bit of a delay here as the umpire gets set, as well as McIver.
Yeah, McIver and Genista were just having a conversation, I think, about where one of the elbow pads or hand pad, one of the oversized hand pads that Genista would use if he got on base. I think McIver wanted it in a different back pocket. I'm not sure why.
Hogan, the right-handed pitcher, deals, and McIver fields that breaking ball up high. And it's 1-2 now on Genista. .320 hitter this year for the Shockers. 9 home runs, 41 runs batted in. And so far, he's had a pretty magnificent season on the Cape, hitting .321 for the Kettleers. In the leadoff spot, swings at this pitch, and it's fouled away over the Cotuit dugout, and he stays alive at 1-2. There's a bit of a clash between the bright red Cape League jerseys of the Cotuit Kettleers and the maroon helmets. Quite a interesting combination, of course. Not their actual uniforms, but it's a Friday special here in the Cape Cod League. He's being worn around the league. 1-2 from Hogan. Another breaking ball. That one hung up there. And the count now runs even at 2-2.
I'm sure it's much worse for Brewster, whose colors are blue and green, when they have to wear the red jersey with whatever other sort of accessories that they have on. That can't be a great look. I'll tell you what, it's better than the maroon of Falmouth with Marty Bakina's green batting gloves from Michigan State. I'll never get over that.
2-2 from Miller Hogan. Delivers a fastball that's fouled behind home plate on the first base side, and Genista doing a nice job spoiling pitches. He's now seen about 3 two-strike pitches in this at-bat. He's at an even count, 2-2. Popped out to the second baseman, Metz, back in the first inning.
Yeah, and he had a full count in that situation. Genista was up 2-0 in the count. Miller Hogan worked his way back. It was a good battle that time as well.
The pitch fouled off the catcher McIver and towards us over here on the first base side. But another spoiled pitch by Genista. He barely got a piece of that one. And if not for the fence in front of us, that would have hit me directly in the foot. I felt it.
You felt something?
I felt it right in front of me on the other side of the fence.
Oh, well, you're lounging
right on my foot
now.
Shh. 2-2. Genista facing a red-hot Miller Hogan through the first 3 innings of this game out of the University I should say St. Louis University, as the umpire calls for time. Today's home plate umpire is Mike Beal, calling the balls and strikes. Pat Sparky Burns is at first base, and David Perry is at second. Fouled away once again by Genista. That one clocked in at 91. That one fouled towards the Cotuit dugout into the netting, and this is a deep at bat here. This will be the 9th pitch coming up from Miller Hogan on Genista.
Just listed all those umpires. Probably the one night that we'll get a bunch of umpires with pretty standard names.
Very standard, very easy to say. This one's chopped foul, and Hogan probably getting annoyed by this leadoff hitter Genista, his fellow Kansas, whatever a person from Kansas is called, his fellow Kansas person, and count remains 2-2 as he continues to throw strikes to keep this count even, not making it a full count. Genista doing a nice job spoiling all the pitches he can, as this will be the 10th pitch coming from Hogan towards the Wichita State Shocker.
Yeah, and the Cotuit crowd appreciating what he's doing in the batter's box right now.
The lefty faces the righty and swings and fouls it away behind home plate. That one was a breaking ball, and it went foul.
Luck on Janista's side right there. He tried to hit that one as hard as he could, completely pulled his head off the ball. Would have missed it completely, but the end of his bat just barely made contact with the ball.
It's still a 2-2 count. It's still Grayson Genista at the plate, and it's still Miller Hogan throwing the pitches. He kicks and fires the 2-2 low, and it's now a full count, as that was pitch number 11 of this at bat. Number 12 is coming up.
This is a real battle right now, and you know, baseball's all about the game within the game. And if Hogan can get this strike 3 pitch or a ground out, it would really turn the tide in the Gatemen's favor, and they already have a 6-0 lead.
What does Hogan have up his sleeve on Genista? He deals. Swing and a miss. Strike 3 swinging, and Hogan with his 4th strikeout of the day. Another one presented by the law offices of Lang, Exafaris, and Bullard. And there's one out here in the 4th.
Miller Hogan proud of himself right now, and I think all the Gatemen fans and the coaches, they are too. I mean, when you get into a battle like that, it can dictate so much momentum. I mean, it's only the leadoff guy in the 4th inning, but if Genista walks there or gets a base hit, Cotuit fan base probably feels a little bit different.
The first pitch is a breaking ball to Kinnaman. It catches the inside corner, and it's 0-1. That at-bat took 12 pitches from Miller Hogan to retire Genista, but he wins the battle ultimately. That pitch is low, clocking in at 80 miles per hour. It's now 1-1 coming up on Kinnaman. Kinnaman tied second in the Cape Cod Baseball League in walks with 12 this season. Takes a strike on a fastball on the inside corner. Good pitch from Hogan, as Kinnaman would have had to fight that one off to make any sort of contact.
That one reached 95 miles per hour up on the Lowell Park scoreboard. Really impressive stuff.
1-2 on the 2-hitter, Brett Kinnaman. And he takes a pitch low, and it's 2-2 from Hogan. That one clocks in at 86. Kinnaman in the 2-hole, hitting .286 so far this season from North Carolina State, a 2016 Louisville Slugger All-American. The lefty facing Hogan, the 2-2, fouled away, just getting a piece of it and staying alive. As Hogan's forcing a lot of these hitters to kind of swing over the top of the ball and foul it off behind them. You know you're fooling hitters when you're getting guys to chop the ball directly behind home plate like that.
Well, what he's doing is really impressive. He's not changing pitch location as much. If he goes with one location, he's going to change the speed. Right now, it's the inside corner to Kinnaman.
Kinnaman takes a ball inside as he kind of wiggled out of the way of that one. Fastball coming in towards his chest, and it's now 3-2 on Kinnaman. A full count once again, and a deep count once again being worked by this Cotuit lineup. The left fielder Kinnaman faces Hogan, the 3-2. Grounded sharply towards first. Nice play by Sable. Flips to Hogan in time for the second out of the inning. Sable with a good job moving to his right, getting on the backhand and retiring the left fielder Kinnaman for the second out of this fourth inning. Hogan now retired the last seven batters of this lineup, dating back to when there was no out in the second inning.
Yeah, that's just a play at first base. It comes with time, trying to time the flip with the pitchers running over to first, stepping on the bag in time. You don't want to lead him too far.
Taran Vavra steps in and he takes a strike on the inside corner, really attacking that inside part of the plate, Hogan is.
Well, the Cotuit hitters today have proven that they can't do anything with that inside sort of jam shot pitch from Miller Hogan. He's commanding it beautifully.
That pitch caught the inside corner once again. Another good two-seamer from Hogan, really catching that inside part of the plate. That one clocked in at 89. And once again, ahead in the count, 0-2. He's retired as little batters as you can face through 3 2/3. He's given up a hit, but this is still only the 12th batter of the game. The 0-2 swung on and missed. Vavra down, swinging the second strikeout of the inning for Hogan. Both swinging, both presented by the law offices of Lang, Exafaris, and Bullard. We'll go to the fifth. The Gatemen hold a 6-0 lead here in Cotuit.
Learning at Curry College extends beyond the classroom and is embedded in all that they do. Curry prepares students to engage in successful careers and active citizenship with a global perspective. Explore undergraduate majors, minors, and concentrations, including new majors in accounting, biochemistry, and software development. Online at www.curry.edu. It's back. The 2017 Friendlies Cape League All-Star Game will be played at Spillane Field, home of the Wareham Gatemen. Mark the date on your calendar, Saturday, July 22nd. Game time is 6 p.m., but the gates open at 2 p.m. One highlight will be the home run hitting contest. There will also be an autograph session and a large merchandise village with items from many of the teams. Be sure to buy your tickets now right here at the merchandise stand. Tickets are just $5, and part of the proceeds will support our Wareham Gatemen.
John Topo steps into the batter's box after taking a few practice swings in the on-deck circle, and he's set to face Kyle Kemp back out for his second inning of work here at the top half of the fifth inning here on the Gatemen Baseball Network. The Gatemen holding on to a 6-0 lead over the Cotuit Kettleers. Miller Hogan has been dealing on the Gatemen side, has retired the first 12 batters. That's on one hit. Those first 12 batters, a fielder's choice and a pickoff to second base by McIver helped him. The first pitch from Kemp to Topa is low on a breaking ball in the dirt, 1-0 on him. But Miller Hogan has been the story of the game so far for the Gatemen, has 5 strikeouts, 2 of which were back in that fourth inning, both swinging. And that pitch is inside from Kemp. It's a fastball, and it's 2-0.
Just really impressive hot start from these Gatemen hitters, along with 4 scoreless performance from Miller Hogan so far. Everything's working right for Wareham right now as they try to climb back in these Western Division standings. I know it's only the 5th inning, but a win over Cotuit would really help them.
Absolutely. The 2-0 pitch on the outside corner. That one clocking in at 87. It's 2-1 on Topa here at Lowell Park in Cotuit, Massachusetts. Cotuit, I believe, is a part of Barnstable, but they do have their own CCBL team down here, and it's one of the most historic, as that one on the outside corner. Cotuit with 16 CCBL championships up to this point. That is a lot.
Yeah, for the amount of teams that are in this league, 10 right now, but a couple over the course of history, more than 10, 12 to 14, grabbing 16 championships. Incredible.
2-2, and on the inside corner, called strike 3 to Topa. He's down for the second time today, and he's now 1 for 3 as Blake Sable will step in with 1 out here in the 5th. Kemp's second strikeout since coming in relief of Noah Davis.
Yeah, and only the 3rd Gateman hitter to strike out today. The first back in the 2nd inning was Blake Sable, but his last time up, he had a base hit and stole a base. So, I mean, all of these Gateman hitters really are producing.
First pitch to Sable, the lefty, is low. 1-0 from Kemp. Sable singled back in the 3rd, stole a base, then came around to score on Fosnot's line drive into left. That went off the glove of the 3rd baseman, Cresto. That pitch comes in low, 88 miles per hour. 2-0 on Sable. Sable got off to a pretty red-hot start for the Gatemen this season. Kind of slowed down a little bit. He's coming into this at-bat at 10 for 43. Good for about a .220 batting average. The pitch on the outside corner. And Kemp, after throwing 2 quick balls to Sable, trying to work back in the count. It's 2-1 now.
Yeah, he does not want to put the leadoff runner on again with a walk. Oh, this isn't the leadoff runner. This isn't the leadoff man anymore, but after having 2 walks in the 4th, you don't want to do any of that again.
That one comes in outside. And once again, Kemp is behind in the count. We saw that a lot back in the 4th inning. Walked the first 2 batters, but was able to recover, getting McIver and Bonfield and Metz to go down in order after that. 3-1 on Sable. The USC Trojan playing first base, as he has most of this season for Wareham. That one high, and he works a walk. Sable's on base for the 2nd time today. And the 3rd walk of the game for Kyle Kemp. He still hasn't given up a hit.
Yeah, but you have Nate Fosnot up right here, who hasn't been retired today. Reached on an error, stole a base in the 2nd, had an RBI single in the 1st, and reached 2nd on a balk. So Nate Fosnot's going to be a hard batter to get around right now. And then after that, your 9-hitter, Nick Angelini, who has a 3-run home run in this game. Rapp is a long way from out of trouble.
Nate Fosnot has not been retired since coming back, as Sable took a big lead on that first pitch strike to Fosnot. Faking the throw down to first was Gonzalez, but he decided to hold on. Fosnot missed quite a bit of this season so far with that finger injury. Reached on an E5 back in the 2nd, singled in the 3rd. That was also an RBI single. That pitch inside, it's 1-1. Fosnot with 1 extra base hit, 3 RBIs now this season, as he's coming into this at-bat, hitting 5 for 14 with the Gatemen this season. Breaking ball is fouled away. It hung, but Fosnot got under it and fouled it straight back over the big white C painted behind home plate.
Yeah, Blake Sable just took off there. Not sure if he was stealing a base or if that was a hit and run, but he was certainly bailed out by Fosnot fouling that one off. Sable got a really late start. Gonzalez probably would have nailed him at 2nd.
Sable did steal a base back in the 3rd. 1 of 3 for the Gatemen so far today. It's 1-2. And Fosnot pops it out towards the right side. It's going to go out of play, foul. Staying alive at 1-2 is the 2nd of 2 George Washington Colonials in this Gatemen lineup today. Robbie Metz being the first. He's 1 for 3 so far. Fosnot was 3rd on that GW team in batting average at about .330. Behind only Robbie Metz and former Gateman Bartosik, who we mentioned before was leading that GW team all season. Pitch is fouled away. Remains 1-2 on Fosnot. Yep. Staying alive.
We've discussed how the George Washington Colonial lineage rolls through Gateman recent history. all of them having successful performances.
The 1-2, a breaking ball, and a nice job by Fosnot laying off that slider as it came out from the inside part of the plate and came off the outside part of the plate from the right-handed perspective. And he's able to get a ball back. It's 2-2. Pickoff move over to first, a fast one, and Sable just gets back in time, beating a quick swipe tag from Tolia. USC and UCLA on first base. USC for the Gatemen, UCLA and Tolia for the Cotuit Cavaliers. The righty from the stretch, it's Kyle Kemp. Runner goes, and it gets by the catcher, Gonzalez. Sable round second. He's going to stop there, though, and the count runs full on Fosnot.
Yeah, right now, with 2 stolen bases, a single, and a walk, you'd say downtown Los Angeles representative Blake Sable has an advantage over his Westwood Los Angeles counterpart, Michael Tolia from UCLA, who's only struck out looking today. He hasn't been given as many opportunities, though. The Gatemen lineup continues to roll over and roll over. Most of the Cavaliers only have 1 at-bat.
Popped up by Fosnot towards the right side, coming on as the center fielder, Genista, and he makes the play. Sable holds on at second, but Fosnot retired for the first time in a while.
Yeah, tough piece of hitting right there for Fosnot. Had a 2-strike count, wanted to do something with that pitch, but it was too good by Kemp, and there's really not much you can do with 2 strikes with a good pitch except foul it off, because you can't look at it or else you're going to go down with a strikeout. So Nick Angelini held that, and I've been really impressed with what we've seen out of him today. It's been about the Bryant outfielder defensively so far this summer, but now really showing off with his bat.
Absolutely. Before today, Angelini was just hitting 174, but that 3-run home run, certainly the most impressive at-bat he's put together this season. It's 1-0 on him as the ball came up and inside from Kemp, having a lot of trouble throwing first pitch strikes. But here he sits with 2 outs in the 5th, 1 out away from getting out of his second scoreless inning in a row. 1-0 from Kemp. Breaking ball on the outside corner, a good slider there. It's 1-1 from Kyle Kemp.
Yeah, the wind continues to blow out towards right center field here at Lowell Park. Nick Angelini, he's probably thinking about taking another one for a ride if he sees a hanging pitch that he likes on the outside corner.
The 1-1 is on the inside corner on an 89-mile-per-hour fastball from Kemp, and it's 1-2 on the 9-hitter, Angelini out of Bryant. Angelini hit 1 for 3 this year at Bryant, .333 average, that is. And he swings and misses at a slider. Angelini down swinging. And the Gatemen, no runs on no hits, no errors. They leave a man on second base. We'll go to the 6th, bottom half of the 5th, excuse me, here on the Gatemen Baseball Network.
Coca-Cola Bottling of Cape Cod thanks you for supporting the Cape Cod Baseball League and for refreshing yourself with ice-cold Coca-Cola products. We are proud supporters of the CCBBL as well as many other wonderful Cape Cod organizations that serve our community.
Welcome back to the Gatemen Baseball Network. Claudia Chikimian with head coach Don Sneddon. Coach, how big was that home run from Nick Angelini earlier in the game, especially hitting from the bottom of the lineup, getting those men on, and then getting that homer?
Well, again, we haven't produced in some of those other situations where we just need productive outs. So to get a home run there, that's something that can definitely help us. I just hope he doesn't get used to it because he's not a home run hitter.
And 5 runs in the second and also 5 hits. So getting those hits, not leaving those men on, making a productive hit. So how big is that for you guys? Well,
that was good. They made a few little errors. They could have made some great plays. Didn't happen. It was just a good inning for us to get some runs on there. It's a long ways from over. This game's going to be 9 innings long. So our pitcher's done a great job. Hogan's just kept him off balance.
Like you're just saying, Hogan's done great. 5 strikeouts so far. So what else are you hoping to see? He's back out here right now.
Well, this will be his last inning, and just hoping to keep him down and not score again.
And what do you think the bullpen can do after that?
I don't know. I hope they do the same thing that he did.
Hopefully not fall under pressure from the other night.
Yeah, they should be fine.
Great. Thanks, Coach. Back to you.
And you just heard Coach Don Sneddon say that Miller Hogan is out here for his final inning of work. And here it's the 5th inning. And he's done phenomenally so far, striking out 5 en route to retiring the first 12 of this Cotuit lineup. Chandler Avant has the only hit off of him, and he steps in to lead off this inning for the Kettleers. It's just been an impressive breaking ball and a very impressive fastball and changeup that have aided Miller Hogan to this successful outing so far. His team holds a 6-0 lead. We thank you for joining in on today's broadcast of Gatemen Baseball here on the Wareham Gatemen Baseball Network. My name's Sam Corman. I'm joined by our color commentator, Connor Federico. Be sure to stay tuned as the first pitch from Hogan is fouled away by Avant. Be sure to stay tuned for the 6th inning when we welcome former Gatemen head coach Cooper Ferris to the broadcast. That's coming up shortly.
Yeah, right now in the bullpen, it seems like Tanner Dodson, the DH, is going out and throwing a few pitches.
That'd be very interesting, as that one outside 1-1, we could see a potential for the DH spot to be eliminated in this Gatemen lineup.
Well, I mean, if Tanner Dodson has a successful outing after Miller Hogan, if he is indeed the next pitcher to come in, it would work very well. But if he gets into some trouble.
This one grounded to third, played by Kasser, fires across the diamond to Sable, and in time for the first out of the inning. Avant goes down. He's now 1 for 2.
Yeah, if Tanner Dodson works himself into a bit of trouble and has to be taken off the mound, then suddenly, you know, you got to be working the chessboard if you're Coach Don Sneddon and Jim Lawler. Got to figure out who's going to pitch, who's going to pinch hit. You got another guy in Robbie Metz who can do both from the mound and from the plate.
Getting word that Dodson is certainly scheduled to pitch. So we'll probably see him taking the mound shortly. Swing and a miss.
Yeah, and if his bat wasn't so hot as of recently, you probably wouldn't have seen him in this starting lineup at all today. But that's why you put him at the DH in case he does need to pitch.
0-1 to Zach Cohn, and he chops it to the third baseman. Kasser again on to first to beat the speedy Cohn for the second out. So 2 consecutive ground outs to Kyle Kasser over there at third base. And he has done a nice job controlling those ground outs, making nice, strong throws with speedy runners nonetheless.
Yeah, and he does a really good job on both those 5-3 retirements of Avant and Cohn. The runners were just only a couple steps away from reaching first base safely when the third baseman Kasser fields the ball, but by the time he throws it, it's a lightning quick reaction. Really great throw.
Cresto steps in, swings and misses through a 88-mile-per-hour pitch from Hogan, and it's 0-1. And Cresto struck out swinging back in the second, and he's the leader of this Kettleers roster in a lot of categories. 2 home runs, 12 RBIs. That one gets underneath the legs of McIver. Nobody on base. The count moves to 1-1. Cresto is tied for second in the CCBL with 12 runs batted in. And he's well behind Marty Bakina of Falmouth with 19 RBIs already this year. 1-1. Breaking ball from Hogan on the outside corner, 80 miles an hour, 1-2. Good pitch from Hogan, controlling the strike zone, keeping it on the corners. And Cresto, a really good hitter, is now behind in the count. The UC Santa Clara product hit 12 home runs and 29 RBIs this season. The 1-2 on the outside corner, called strike 3. And Miller Hogan's 6th strikeout of the game is the 6th presented by the law offices of Lang, Exoforest, and Bullard. We'll go to the 6th inning here. It's the Gatemen 6. It's the Cotuit Kettleers nothing on the Gatemen Baseball Network.
All-Star Game Weekend starts with a celebrity softball game on July 21st at McKeon Park in Hyannis. Come watch Jason Veritek, Bill Lee, Nancy Kerrigan, Scott Zolak, and other celebrities play ball in support of the Cape Cod Baseball League and Spalding Rehabilitation Hospital of Cape Cod. Gates open at 4 p.m. For more information and to buy tickets, go to allstarcapecod.org. That's allstarcapecod.org.
Coca-Cola Bottling of Cape Cod thanks you for supporting the Cape Cod Baseball League and for refreshing yourself with ice-cold Coca-Cola products. Coca-Cola Bottling Company of Cape Cod employs more than 50 full-time employees and more than 25 seasonal. Every year, more than 15 college students get great experience and support their education by working at Coca-Cola Bottling of Cape Cod. Reward yourself. Have a Coke.
Welcome back. It's the top half of the 6th inning here, and the Gatemen holding on to a 6-0 lead over the Cotuit Cavaliers. We're joined by former Gatemen head coach Cooper Ferris. How are you doing, Cooper?
I'm doing good.
You doing good?
Mm-hmm.
Cooper spent 15 years as the Gatemen head coach and won 3 championships here with Wareham. You know, a lot of great moments, obviously, within those 3 championships. What do you think the best one was out of all of them?
There's a lot of great kids. You know, we had a lot of great players. Probably the 2012 one was really special. We came from behind up at YD to win it with Schwarber, and I think we had like 6 or 7 home runs that game from the 5th inning on. So there's a lot of great stories and memories right there from the 5th inning on. It wasn't too pretty before that.
The first pitch is to the leadoff hitter, Kasser, and it's outside, 1-0. On the mound for Cotuit is still Kyle Kemp. So you spent a lot of years in the coaching industry, and now you're a scout. What's it like transitioning between head coaching and scouting? It must be completely different.
I still feel like I'm coaching. I'm trying to make adjustments for everybody right now. But you know, it's not a lot. It's just you know, the big thing now is just trying to watch everybody's guys instead of just your own, you know.
This one's lined into center field on a 2-0 pitch. It's for a base hit. Kasser's going to round first and head for second. Playing it at the wall is Genista, and Kyle Kasser's on second with a leadoff double here in the 6th inning. Kasser is now 2 for 3 today. So what's your favorite thing in general about Cape Cod? You're a Mississippi native, so
Yeah.
It must be a lot different.
Oh yeah, it's you know, the atmosphere and you know, it's just the host families, the organizations, how much time and effort they put into this, and then you get the top players in the country coming up to watch them play, and I mean, you're going to see good baseball every time out.
Absolutely. This guy is pretty good himself. Tanner Dotson out of the University of California takes a strike. Out of all you said you have a lot of great players that you coached. Is there anyone in particular that jumps out at you as your favorite?
I can't. You know, I think we had like 30-some guys in the big leagues. You know, so yeah, it's that made it up. You know, and pretty much, I don't know, probably every one of them got drafted that came through, and you know, they're all special. You know, everybody's holds a special place in your heart when you coach them. You know, and there were a lot of great ones on that team that are still trying to climb up. That 2012 team, they're still trying to climb the ladder.
Absolutely.
And,
the 1-1 fouled away. It must be pretty awesome to see, you know, a guy like George Springer, guys like Kyle Schwarber come in here and then, you know, knowing that your coaching kind of helped them, propelled them to the next level. What's that like?
Yeah, it's awesome. I went out, I guess it was 2 years ago when the Astros played the Royals in the playoffs out there and had the big lead in the last game there, and you know, we had five former guys on that I coached on that Astros team. You know, with Colin McHugh and then Dallas Keuchel, the Cy Young Award winner, and you know, just Springer, Tony Sipp, who also played for me.
It was punched out to right field for a base hit from Dotson, and he's on base with his 3rd hit of the day. Kasser advances to 3rd, and the Gatemen are cooking here. 1st and 3rd, nobody out here in the 6th. So what's your favorite field here at the Cape, and why? I mean, I bet Spillane holds a special place in your heart.
Yeah. We hard to rain us out there. But all the fields look nice. I heard they came in and redid all of them this year with a company, and this one looks really good right now. But they're telling me what they did to our field over at Spillane. They said they put a little rubber in the stone dust and redid the whole thing, which is good.
MacIver fouls his first pitch away. It's 0-1. Is there anything in particular about coming back that you like the most?
Just seeing all the coaches, they're all still here, and I talk to them about 3 or 4 times a year, and just talked to Mike a couple weeks ago, and just, watching them and, just being around it.
MacIver takes the 0-1 on a low fastball. It's 0-2 now to the Gatemen 3-hitter, and MacIver, first and third, nobody out here in the 6th inning. We're talking to former Gatemen head coach Cooper Ferris, who's currently a scout with the New York Mets. And what's the hardest thing? Is it kind of weird, kind of coming back here about like not coaching and just kind of watching? Is it kind of weird?
Yeah, very much so. Every game I watch on TV, same way. Look at there.
This one's chopped the other way by MacIver, scoring from third as Kasser advancing to third. On the play is Tanner Dodson. It's an RBI single for Willie MacIver, his 2nd RBI of the game.
They've really put some good at-bats together. I got here in the 2nd inning. My flight was a little late and couldn't get across the bridge, but they've had some really good at-bats in the 2nd.
So coaching, you coached a community college as the head coach of Cotuit. Mike Roberts is out to probably make a pitching change here, but he's just discussing it over. Coaching community college, coaching collegiate leagues is probably a really big difference. What's the biggest coaching difference between those 2 levels?
Well, I had some good players there at Gulf Coast where I was. I was mentioning Tony Sipp pitching for the Astros now that also pitched for us up here in the Cape. He played for me 2 years. I think 9 of those guys make it to the big leagues. So, it was we had some good players, just not as many of them, of course. You know what I mean? There were some holes there in our lineup, but up here there's not. Or there better not be.
Kemp steps in, and right now you're probably pretty impressed by this Gatemen lineup. Is there anyone in particular that's impressed you so far?
Like I said, they've all put some good at-bats together, and they're running in good counts, and they look like they're trying to put some pressure on them a little bit. Looked like a minute ago when they took off, pitcher yanked the ball over here in the first base dugout, but it looks like they're trying to put some pressure on them good, which is good thing to do. And you got them on the run like this.
It's 0-1 on Luke Bonfield, the cleanup hitter, and he slaps this one in the opposite field, and it's going to drop for a base hit. Trotting in from third and scoring is Dodson. MacIver rounds third. He's going to sprint home. Here's the throw, and there is none. MacIver scores as well. The Gatemen get a 2 RBI double from Luke Bonfield, and there's still nobody out here in this 6th inning.
Need to come back more often, huh?
Yeah, the luck.
10-run rule. They had it.
It is now 9-0 here in Cotuit. Remember, there's no lights here as well, so you could be seeing this game end short.
Yeah.
I'm not. How familiar are you? Are you familiar at all with the new Gatemen coaches at all? Have you met them at all? Or
Yeah. Max was with me. He's here, and I don't know the 2 base coaches. I was up here last summer and saw Coach Snedden. He's doing a great job with them, and
this one gets away.
It's turned into a mess.
This one gets away, advancing to third as the mess does continue. Is Bonfield. Still nobody out here in the 6th inning. The new hitter is Robbie Metz. And is there any certain advice that you give Coach Snedden as a former coach, especially so many years as well?
Just keep grinding. That's the big thing. Is 44 games. It's a grind for these guys, and it's their first taste of professional baseball, as it's going to be for them. And they can't have too many highs and lows. And it's just got to keep grinding through each at bat and each game. And make sure you're training yourself to take care of yourself.
And the pitcher at the Kyle Kemp it looked like he just balked, but the home plate umpire reverses his decision, sends Bonfield back to third base. Interesting there. Is there anything in particular that you've seen here on the Cape that was kind of weird or crazy, the craziest thing that you've seen here?
Just the fog. You know, that's about it. You had to watch, especially up at Chatham.
Yeah.
You know, you had to watch it. And of course, I think Jim Lawler, you know, he's over here. I bet Mike likes to run. You know, he's written 2 big books on base run. I tried to teach Jim what he was doing, you know, when he runs and when he doesn't run, because I read both books. So,
we were out in Chatham.
He looks like he's picking at the right times and doing some good stuff too. That's good. Good 3-2 breaking ball a minute ago was really good.
We were out in Chatham a few weeks ago for the doubleheader, and the fog really came in, and fielders were having a lot of trouble. This one's drilled deep to left field, going back, and this one is off the wall on a hop. Metz in the second. He rounds second. He's going to be in for a stand-up triple. Scoring on the play is Bonfield, and it's now 10-0 in favor of the Gatemen, as the good luck charm in Coach Cooper Ferris comes in.
I don't know about that. Mike's going out again.
And it looks like Mike Roberts is coming out to make the coaching change. We thank Cooper Ferris for joining the broadcast today. The former Gatemen head coach, 3-time CCBL champion Cooper Ferris, here on the Gatemen Baseball Network.
Thanks, guys.
Don't miss a minute of this station's pre- and post-game sports talk. Tune in on your smartphone with the Next Radio app. It's live and it's local. Download the free Next Radio app from the Google Play Store today. Registration is now open for the 2017 Wareham Gatemen Youth Clinics. The instruction clinics are open to boys and girls between ages 4 and 15. The clinics are a great opportunity to meet and learn from some of the best collegiate players in the country. Clinics are held Monday through Friday, depending on the player's off day. For more information and to sign up your young ball player, visit www.gatemen.org. Urgent care is now available at 4 Cape Cod healthcare locations: Hyannis, Falmouth, Sandwich, and Harwich. Open after hours and weekends, staffed by ER physicians, expert care when you need it. Learn more at capecodhealth.org/urgent care. Coca-Cola Bottling of Cape Cod thanks you for supporting the Cape Cod Baseball League and for refreshing yourself with ice-cold Coca-Cola products. We are proud supporters of the CCBBL as well as many other wonderful Cape Cod organizations that serve our community. We regret to inform you that Cooper Ferris has left during that stint as the Gatemen color commentator. Cooper Ferris brought some magic to the Gatemen lineup. They were 5 for 5 with 4 runs scored, and they still have nobody out here in the 6th inning. Kyle Kemp was just knocked out of the game on those 5 consecutive hits. It was a double from Kasser, a single from Dodson that scored Kasser, McIver's single, Bonfield doubled, that scored Dodson and McIver, and then Metz tripled, that scored Bonfield. What just happened?
Well, you can say whatever you want about Coach Ferris being the good luck charm, but the numbers don't lie. I was sitting in this seat for 6 Gatemen runs, and Coach Ferris was only sitting here for 4 Gatemen runs.
I mean, he was only here. He was here for 0+ innings is the thing. The
numbers don't lie. You can spin them however you want them.
So the top of the order led off this inning. It was Kyle Kasser. And the Gatemen are a home run away from hitting for the cycle here but in the inning. And John Topa is the hitter. The new pitcher for the Cotuit Cavaliers is Seth Schumann out of Georgia Southern. And they came up just short of that conference championship down there, losing to South Alabama in the title game. It was a thriller. extra innings.
Heartbreaker for the Eagles.
Yes, so Schumann was on that team. He was phenomenal this year for the Eagles. 8-0 with a 3.33 ERA.
Wow.
Also a former draft pick of the Baltimore Orioles. This one's fouled away towards us by Topa on the first pitch. A fastball at 90 miles an hour.
Don't sleep on the Sun Belt. A strong baseball conference, and usually their tournament champion does something pretty special in the NCAA tournament. We did not see that this year from South Alabama, though.
But a lot of Jaguars up here in the Cape.
Oh,
0-1. And Topa swings through that one. It's 0-2 as Schumann's come in here to stop the bleeding.
Yeah.
There is a runner on third. It's Robbie Metz. Still nobody out here in the 6th inning. Kasser, Dodson, McIver, Bonfield, and Metz with consecutive hits. 3 of them were extra base hits. The pitch on the 0-2, down the middle, called strike 3. Topa down looking, the first out of this inning. And the first out for the new pitcher, Seth Schumann.
Second time in a row, John Topa has gone down looking. He did it in the 5th and now in the 6th. I mean, the Gatemen already have 10 runs in this game on 13 hits. It's almost hard to believe that they've also stranded 6 runners in the first 5 innings of play, and they certainly don't want to do that with Robbie Metz standing on third right now.
Every Gateman has a hit, as this one fouled away.
Yeah, we're just waiting on McIver and Bonfield, and they
Yeah.
both got RBIs along with their respective hits.
Kasser has 2, Dodson has 3. He continues to be one of the best hitters in this lineup. He was hitting .364. He's hitting 3 for 3 today. McIver has 1. Bonfield has 1. As here comes the 0-1 to Sable. It's popped up in foul territory. Chasing it is Cresto, but it's out of play. Metz has 2 hits. Topa has 1. Sable has 1. He's at bat right now. Fosnot has 1. And Angelini had a 3-run shot back in the 2nd for his only hit.
It's just confusing, Sam. Like, which Gatemen team are we going to see on a nightly basis? Tonight, it's the one that can absolutely blow you out of the water. And Cotuit fans are dealing with that right now.
It's the one that has 13 hits through 5 1/3 innings right now, as Sable calls for time.
I'd be pretty surprised if we played a full 9 innings. And there's no lights at this field here in Cotuit, so we might get canceled due to darkness.
Pitches in the dirt as the count now runs to 1-2. Matt Feld is back on the broadcast. What do you think of this performance so far from the Gatemen?
Might be the first time this year we've had like a true player of the game debate. You know,
absolutely.
I disagree. I think there was one game. I think it was either Jake Anchia or Luke Bonfield was our player of the game debate. It was a game. I remember it. It was a game. Bonfield had a 3-run homer, but Jake Anchia wasn't retired the entire day.
It's true.
But right now, every Gateman has a hit. It's pretty tough. It's probably a lot harder of a decision this game than it was that game.
So maybe
Connor.
we'll just give it to Miller Hogan.
This is great. This is the first time we've had 2 color commentators. As now a discussion between a trainer and the catcher, Gonzalez, as he might be hurt. David Inman is warming up in the Cotuit bullpen. Inman out of Coastal Carolina.
It's Miller Hogan.
We've turned this into.
You think the player of the game is Miller Hogan?
Yeah, I'm coming in here too. This is Jacob Towie reporting.
Now we have 3
this is Jacob Towie reporting
on the broadcast
from the field
right now. This is a new record.
It's Miller Hogan.
We've turned this
I'm
into
getting out of here. See ya.
Connor Federico is checked out.
We've turned this into the United Nations, where everyone has a voice.
As now taking warm-up tosses towards the catcher is the pitcher Schumann, because Gonzalez making sure that he's not hurt behind there at home plate. The Gatemen lead 10-0. The time right now is 7:06. A reminder that Cotuit does not have lights, so if this game goes on too long, we'll see it end due to darkness. The undisputed player of the game right now, according to Jacob Toby, is Miller Hogan, but we'll see how this game pans out.
He's given up 1 hit through 5 innings. It's really
Very
impressive stuff.
Very impressive stuff from Hogan, especially after his struggles in the first few outings of his season. The sunset tonight is at 8:20. The 1-2 is fouled away by Sable, as his at-bat was kind of separated there between an injury delay, but staying in the game is number 21, Ivan Gonzalez.
Yeah, I'm not sure Gonzalez has another option. He was the replacement for Thomas Dillard, who was the original catcher in this game.
And there is a third catcher on this Cotuit roster, as the pitch is outside, 2-2. That catcher is Gian Martellini out of Boston College. He played yesterday, but I guess he has the night off completely.
Nice little Italian name there, Martellini.
Certainly is Italian, as Sable fouls this one away towards the opposite field over the Cotuit dugout. Almost snagged by a Cotuit fan there in the top row, but he couldn't make the play.
That's the second dropped foul ball by that fan in the purple shirt at the top of the Cotuit fans.
Wow. Connor calling out this Cotuit fan for his failure to catch these foul balls into the stands. Sable working in a 2-2 count. The Gatemen lead 10-0. Here's the pitch. Swung on and missed. Sable upset with himself as he heads back to the dugout. He strikes out swinging. And that is the second out, the second consecutive strikeout, as Seth Schumann has done a pretty nice job coming in to clean up the mess that Kyle Kemp left him.
Pretty nice job. He's been perfect so far. Robbie Metz has been standing over there at third base with his hands on his hips for a while, saying, hey, can't one of you drive me home, after he drove Luke Bonfield home earlier in this inning.
Nate Fosnot is the hitter, takes a breaking ball on the outside corner, 0-1 from Schumann.
It'd be nice if his George Washington teammate Nate Fosnot could do it right now.
That's certainly something they're used to seeing, is each other on base. They were each on base over a third of the time this season. That one in there for a strike. 0-2 on a fastball. 2 outs here in the top half of the 6th inning. The Gatemen have a 10-0 lead. Miller Hogan has held Cotuit to just 1 hit. Fouled away by Fosnot, staying alive in the at-bat, 0-2. The Gatemen have scored 4 in this inning. Robbie Metz, who drove in 2 of those runners, is on third base with a triple. Last 2 batters for the Gatemen, Topa and Sable, have struck out. We thank you for joining today's broadcast of Wareham Gatemen Baseball on the Gatemen Baseball Network. Pitch is low, and the first ball of the at-bat to Fosnot. It's now 1-2.
Seth Schumann has been really good since entering the game with a runner on third and nobody out. Struck out John Topa, struck out Blake Sable, now a pitch away from getting Fosnot down.
Fosnot in the batter's box, waits and fouls it away, just getting a piece of it. Lines it back towards the scout dugout behind home plate. And it's now 1-2 still on Fosnot. My name's Sam Corman. I'm joined by Connor Federico today, as well as a brief stint from Matt Feld and Jacob Toby on the broadcast just now. We thank Cooper Ferris, the former Gatemen head coach, for joining us earlier this inning. Pitch on the outside corner. Down looking is Fosnot, so Schumann comes in and strikes out the side. We'll go to the bottom half of the 6th. It's 10-0 Wareham on the Gatemen Baseball Network. As we'll go to Jacob Toby for a quick Cape League update. How you doing, Jacob?
Doing just fine there, bud. Thanks for asking. Hyannis at Brewster. We start there, and the Whitecaps trailing the Hyannis Harbor Hawks 7-3. It was tied up at 3, but Hyannis scored in 3 consecutive innings. Micah Coffey homers for his first of the season for Hyannis. Same with Daniel Robinson. He hits his first home run of the season. Michael Gasper, RBI single, his 17th RBI of the season. That's good for second in the CCBL. Moving on to Bourne at YD in Yarmouth. Today, 2-1 lead for the YD Red Sox over the Bravos. Kyle Isbell with an RBI double for YD. Falmouth and Chatham off to a quick start. 2-0 lead for the Commodores over the Anglers right now in the top of the first. Hunter Steinmetz, a 2-run jack. He was batting second, and he hit a home run to make it 2-0 in favor of the Commodores. Top of the first, Harwich and Orleans, they're tied up at 0. That's it for this Cape League update. I'm Jacob Toby. We'll send it back to the guys. Finish it off. Sam Corman, Connor Federico.
Welcome back. Thank you, Jacob, for that marvelous update. The Gatemen on top of the Cotuit Cavaliers 10-0. And the new pitcher is also the 2-hitter in this Gatemen lineup, and he's also 3 for 3 so far today. When was the last time you saw a guy that had 3 hits in a game enter the game as a pitcher? It's Tanner Dodson on the mound for the Gatemen. Pretty cool stuff.
Yeah, don't think this is happening because the Gatemen have a 10-0 lead and are out hitting Cotuit 13-1. It's happening because Tanner Dodson has the talent to do it. Switch hitter, throws with his right arm. And I wouldn't be surprised to see him finish what Miller Hogan started, and that was a really impressive 5-inning outing, only giving up 1 hit. It was to the 4-hitter Chandler Avant back in the 2nd inning.
Dodson, the right-handed pitcher, delivers low to Michael Tolia, and it's 1-0 on him. Tolia, the 7-hitter, here in the 6th inning. And he grounds the ball to the right side, played by Sable, tosses over to Dodson, and makes the play for the first out of the inning. So a quick start for Dodson here as he retires Tolia 3-1.
Yeah, really good job there by Tanner Dodson. You know, he sits on the bench for the entirety of this game as a DH. He has 3 hits, so his mind was really synced up at the plate. And then he comes over, he gives up a ground ball to the first baseman, and his first instinct, of course, is to get on over there to first base and cover the bag.
First pitch from Dodson is a 94-mile-per-hour heater that catches the inside corner of Miles Lewis. It's 0-1. A lot of defensive changes I'm just noticing for the Gatemen. Robbie Metz moves to third base from second, swing and a miss, 0-2. Kyle Kasser moves from third base to shortstop, and Jaron Duran replaces Nate Fosnop. He's put in Metz's defensive position at second base, but Duran will be hitting in the 8-hole for Nate Fosnop. That pitch is outside, 1-2. You wonder if you hope that's not a relapse of that finger injury, but it's probably just a hitting change in the lineup.
Yeah, just a precaution. Make sure that, you know, you have this big lead. Protect your shortstop, too.
That pitch is outside. It goes from an 0-2 count from Dodson to a 2-2 pretty quickly here on Davis. Excuse me, Lewis. Davis was a starting pitcher. Delivers the 2-2. Swing and a miss. Dodson gets his first strikeout on a 94-mile-per-hour heater. Blows by Miles Lewis. Another one presented by the law offices of Lang, Exafaris, and Bullard. The first for Dodson, the 7th for the Gatemen pitching staff. 6 came from Miller Hogan. And now 2 outs in the 6th. Ivan Gonzalez, this is his first at-bat of the game as he came in for Thomas Dillard earlier in this game. Takes a strike on the inside corner from Dodson. 93 on that one. Fastball after fastball after fastball. Coming in from Dodson. Here's another one. Grounded towards the first base side. Nice play by Sable. Fires to Dodson in time for a 1-2-3 6th inning for Tanner Dodson, who was also 3 for 3 on the day. We'll go to the 7th inning here on the Gatemen Baseball Network. It's 10-0 Wareham over Cotuit.
The Cape Cod Baseball League is all about family, and it's all about fun. Friendly's is all about family and fun and is proud to sponsor the 2017 baseball season. Friendly's, life with extra sprinkles.
Baseball Factory, a proud partner of the Cape League since 1991, holds over 600 events nationwide for players ages 8 through 18, including 3 training weeks here in the Cape. Baseball Factory alumni have played on every Division I college program across the nation, plus 400 have made it to the majors. Visit baseballfactory.com to learn how you can build your way to greatness.
Curry College offers 14 NCAA Division III athletic teams in sports such as football, baseball, softball, basketball, hockey, soccer, lacrosse, tennis, cross country, and volleyball. Read about the success of the Curry Colonels and their championship teams. It's all online at www.curry.edu.
Lowell Park here in Cotuit, Massachusetts. The Gatemen lead the Cotuit Kettleers by a score of 10-0. And on the mound for the Kettleers is once again Seth Schumann. The final line on the second pitcher, Kyle Kemp. 2+ innings, 4 runs, all earned, 5 hits, 3 strikeouts and 3 walks for Kyle Kemp, so he struggles today for the Kettleers as the second pitcher. But the Gatemen hitter is doing a really nice job.
Yeah, it's been a fantastic day for the Wareham lineup. 10 runs, 13 hits. They haven't committed any errors in the field, but the Kettleers have committed 2 out there, and it's really helped the Gatemen over the course of this game. A beneficiary of one of those errors by the third baseman, Cresto, is up right now, Nick Angelini, who should have popped out in foul territory back in the second, but instead hit a 3-run homer. So the Tides, the tables turn in this game of baseball so often. It happened to the Gatemen 2 nights ago. It's going well for them here, though.
First pitch is low to Angelini, the 9-hitter, has a home run in this game. There is a new pitcher for Cotuit. It's David Inman, a sidearmer, submariner, right-handed pitcher. Deals the sidearm, outside corner, 1-1, 84 miles per hour from number 29 Inman out of Coastal Carolina. Interesting story for David Inman. Native of Terre Haute, Indiana, which is where Indiana State University is. Went to community college, was planning on attending Indiana State. Inside corner on that 82-mile-an-hour pitch, it's 1-2. Was planning on attending Indiana State. Redshirted his freshman season, then decided to transfer to Florida Southwest College, a community college, where he went 6-2 with a 3.15 ERA, is now bound for Coastal Carolina in his next season. And Coastal Carolina, of course, won the national championship 2 seasons ago. Grounded down the third baseline. It's a fair ball. Nice play, but not in time from Cresto over to Tolia to beat the fast Angelini. Getting down the line in a hurry, a leadoff single for him. But a really good play, moving to his right, fielding the short hop from Cresto, but was unable to get over to first in time, of course, and Angelini has the first hit of this inning to lead off the inning against David Inman. Inman was 6-2 with a 3.15 ERA for Florida Southwest College last season. 99 strikeouts in 74 innings pitched for the sidearmer. This one slapped right into center field for a base hit. Kyle Kasser's third hit of the game has first and second with nobody out, coming in and swinging right away at that first pitch and moving Angelini into scoring position. Nice piece of hitting by Kasser. Was not fooled at all by that sidearm delivery.
Yeah, a couple quick notes of substitution for the Kettleers. Luke Alexander, he'll come in at second base, but he will take Cresto's spot in the order. Cresto's out of this game. Moving over to third base is Cone, who we've seen throughout the game, Zach Cone at shortstop, and moving over to replace Cone at shortstop was Terran Vara, the second baseman for most of the game.
So a lot of defensive changes for both sides. The pitch to Dotson is a ball. It's 1-0 on Dotson. And now the first time this season we've seen a pitcher at bat here in the Cape Cod League, as he was the DH for his first 4 plate appearances, is now hitting as the pitcher. The 1-0 to Dotson from the side armor. Line down the line, fair ball for a base hit. Rounding third is Angelini. He's going to score. Stopping at third is Kasser. It's an RBI single for Tanner Dotson. He's 4 for 4 on the day. Never mind the fact that he's on the mound. And the Gatemen have an 11-0 lead.
What a day for Tanner Dotson. He's been absolutely fantastic, just like he was in the game 2 nights ago against the Falmouth Commodores, where he went 2 for 5, 2 RBIs and a triple. Just real impressive streak of hitting for Tanner Dotson. We talked about how he overcame Willie McIver and John Topa for the batting average lead on this team. He might be looking out for the RBI lead soon.
As the first pitch to McIver is a strike, it's 0-1. As having a lot of trouble is Inman coming into this game, giving up 3 consecutive singles that have resulted in 1 run for Wareham. That one, a slider, 74 miles per hour, catches McIver on the off-speed pitch, swinging 0-2.
We've seen some really impressive performances by these Gatemen hitters tonight, really making mincemeat of some really great Cotuit pitchers. The only one that had success against Wareham was Seth Schumann just an inning ago.
It's 0-2 on McIver. Swing and a miss on a slider way outside. That one had a lot of movement on it. McIver down swinging. His first strikeout of the day. And the first strikeout in relief for David Inman. Tanner Dodson, by the way, came into this game with a 364 batting average. His batting average now is 462.
Well, I mean, it's such a small sample size, and that's why in one game your batting average can go up 100 points.
He's 12 for 26 this season, though. That's some good stuff for a guy that hasn't been in the lineup every single day as a hitter. On the outside corner there, it's 0-1 now to Luke Bonfield as Inman trying to settle in after giving up one quick run here in the 7th inning. The Gatemen holding on to an 11-0 lead. They've put 16 hits on the board in this game. As that one inside on a 74-mile-an-hour slider, 1-1.
You got to wonder if there's some frustration care. The last loss the Gatemen suffered to a division rival in the Falmouth Commodores. Just coming out here to Cotuit today and putting a beating on the Kettleers.
And just early on that swing was Luke Bonfield on that 73-mile-an-hour slider. Tried to crush it down the left field line, but instead pulled it foul. 1-2.
The last time Bonfield did that, he was ahead on an off-speed pitch that he lined down the left field line. In that same at-bat, back in the 6th inning, Bonfield then hit a fly ball over to right field that fell for a double.
The 1-2, swing and a miss. Snapped over to first, and not in time to get the runner Dodson, but down swinging is Bonfield, the second straight strikeout for David Inman out of Coastal Carolina. And now the Gatemen with 2 outs here in the 7th inning trying to add to an 11-0 lead. And it's going to be Robbie Metz, who is 2 for 4, stepping in. This is his 5th at-bat. We're here in the 7th inning.
Even if the Gatemen end up winning this one by double digits, they would be pretty disappointed the amount of runners they've left on base.
This one grounded foul down the line. It's 0-1 on Metz. A reminder that sunset scheduled for 8:20 here in Cotuit. There is no lights on this field, but we're for an 11-run Gatemen lead here. It's moving pretty quickly here. We're already in the 7th inning. 0-1 on Metz out of George Washington. He is red hot. He's waiting from the sidearm delivery. It's a breaking ball, and it's line down the line. It's just fouled on the third base side as that one drew out to the left and ended up hooking a little bit foul.
That one just seemed to float in the air forever. Sort of a half swing from Metz. Wasn't all in on that pitch. A little out ahead of it, and that's what Inman is showing us right now, an ability to change speeds. It makes the Gatemen hitters guess, but in an inning where they have 3 singles and an RBI, they're guessing correctly.
Inman, the side armor, sets and delivers, and it's popped up towards left field. The left fielder, Kinnaman, makes the play, and the side is retired here in the 7th. We're off to the 7th inning stretch, presented by Eastern Propane and Oil, proud sponsor of the Gatemen with locations on and off the Cape. More Gatemen baseball after the break here on the Gatemen Baseball Network.
The Wareham Gatemen and the visiting team, the Cape Cod Baseball League, and the NCAA promote good sportsmanship by student athletes, coaches, and spectators. We request your cooperation and positive support of the participants and officials. Profanity, racial or sexist comments, or other intimidating actions directed at officials, student athletes, coaches, or team representatives will not be tolerated and are grounds for removal from this ballpark.
Earn a bachelor's or master's degree, complete a certificate, or take a single course through the Division of Continuing Education and Graduate Studies at Curry College. Classes run days, evenings, and weekends in Milton and Plymouth. To learn more about programs in business, criminal justice, education, nursing, and more, visit curry.edu.
The Wareham Gatemen would like to thank Franklin Sports for their sponsorship of the Cape Cod Baseball League. Franklin is yet again proud to be the official batting glove of the Cape Cod Baseball League. Throughout the summer, all 10 Cape League teams are wearing their own custom team batting gloves, courtesy of Franklin Sports. To order your favorite team's design or to create your own, visit franklinsports.com/custom. Enter code CCBL20 for 20% off your purchase. From Cape Cod to the major leagues, only the best hitters in baseball wear Franklin gloves.
Want to hear more about today's game, players, and breaking sports updates? Then download the free Next Radio app from the Google Play Store and tune to this station. It's live. It's local FM radio wherever you go. The Next Radio app. Get it today. Visit Stars Restaurant at Chatham Bars Inn Resort and Spa for a world-class dining experience. A proud member of leading hotels of the world.
It is the bottom half of the 7th inning, a beautiful rendition of the God Bless America here in Cotuit. The first time you've heard that one this year, as usually the 7th inning stretch consists of not much more than the other innings. Tanner Dodson stepped back on the mound for the Gatemen, and this has been one of the most impressive performances by any player we've seen all season.
Yeah, I mean, 4 for 4, a walk. Let's see, he scored a run, an RBI, just really great stuff. And now he's showing his stuff out on the mound. Had a 1-2-3 inning against the 7, 8, and 9 batters back in the 6th frame, and now here in the bottom of the 7th. He's going to face the top of the order, who are all 0 for 2 today. Let's see if he can continue that trend for the Gatemen pitching.
The Kettleers sitting at 1 hit on the day. It was Chandler Avant back in the 2nd inning. Grayson Janista steps in and lines one right to the third baseman. That's Robbie Metz. And the first out of the inning off a beamer to the opposite field by Janista. But Dodson getting some help from his third baseman, Metz.
Snaps to you, Sam. I never even saw that ball, and Robbie Metz stayed the whole way, which is pretty surprising. It is getting a little bit dark here, especially with the cloud cover right now. If there were no clouds in the sky, we might be seeing a nice sunset, but it's really overcast.
1 out here in the 7th, and they say that Kinnaman went around on a slight check swing, so he's down 0-1 off that Dodson fastball. As it looks like Dodson's just going heater after heater, trying to blow it by these Cotuit hitters.
If, keep going with what's working.
0-1. That one, 94 as well, in the dirt. 1-1 now as McIver scoops that one up and throws it back.
No one's doing anything with the fastball right now. No one's catching up to it. Why even go off speed?
1-1. This one's lined to the 5-6 hole. A nice play by Kasser. A throw on to first, and it's wide. It was almost a gorgeous play by Kyle Kasser. And instead, it's the second hit of the game for the Cotuit Kettleers lineup.
Yeah, check swing off to the hole between Robbie Metz and Kyle Kasser. Really nothing Kasser could do about that one. He'd have to deliver an absolutely perfect throw on the run away from his body. Tough play, and the Gatemen will reset now. That's only the second hit of this ball game for the Kettleers, and not a fantastic one.
That one is low to number 6, Taryn Vavra. The second baseman today for Cotuit is 0 for 2. Yesterday played his first game back after suffering a concussion earlier this season. Going through all the protocols. This one's chopped to second. He tags the runner on to first. Double play. 4 unassisted 3. Jaron Duran to Blake Sable for the double play to get the Gatemen out of the inning. If you're wondering, it doesn't count as a perfect game, but the Gatemen have retired the first 21 batters of this game. We'll go to the 8th inning. The Gatemen lead 11-0 here on the Gatemen Baseball Network.
The Cape Cod Baseball League is all about family, and it's all about fun. Friendly's is all about family and fun, and is proud to sponsor the 2017 baseball season. Friendly's, life with extra sprinkles.
Baseball Factory, a proud partner of the Cape League since 1991, holds over 600 events nationwide for players ages 8 through 18, including 3 training weeks here in the Cape. Baseball Factory alumni have played on every Division I college program across the nation, plus 400 have made it to the majors. Visit baseballfactory.com to learn how you can build your way to greatness.
Curry College offers 14 NCAA Division III athletic teams in sports such as football, baseball, softball, basketball, hockey, soccer, lacrosse, tennis, cross country, and volleyball. Read about the success of the Curry Colonels and their championship teams. It's all online at www.curry.edu.
Welcome back. Here it is, the top half of the 8th inning. Christian Demby out of North Carolina State, wearing a familiar red jersey, and is now on the mound for the Cotuit Cavaliers. The right-hander had a 7.16 ERA this season for the Wolfpack. John Topa has a hit today, but he's 0 for his last 3. That seems like a below average performance for a Gateman hitter today.
It's still perfectly fine.
Oh,
I mean,
I know.
you know, this is the 5th pitcher of the day for the Cotuit Cavaliers. Everything's just going right for this Gateman lineup through and through.
Inman goes that just 1 inning. The pitch from Demby is outside. It's 1-0. Inman gives up a run on 3 hits, strikes out 2 as well in that 1 inning of work. That pitch, Topa goes around on a slight check swing, but easily went around the whole way, and the count now 1-1. Topa with 2 strikeouts today, both looking. The 1-1 pitch is popped out to right field. Lewis is there, makes the play, and the first out is retired here in the 8th inning. It's Topa, who's now 1 for 5.
Yeah, in terms of just getting flyouts, it hasn't been a busy day for these Cotuit outfielders, but in terms of chasing fly balls, or, you know, balls that go over the fence or hit the fence and go for a double or a triple, it's been a pretty interesting day for the outfielders. No routine outs, but throwing the ball back in.
1-0 coming up to Sable as the first pitch was outside to the Gateman first baseman, who is 1 for 3 on the day. And that pitch is high. It's 2-0. Sable out of USC has struck out swinging twice today. Also has 2 stolen bases to add to his total on the season. It's 2-0 on him after Demby retired Topa on a fly out to right. 1 out here in the 8th, and that pitch is low. It's now 3-0. Demby now behind in the count. Blake Sable, a catcher for the USC Trojans, has not played behind the plate at all this year, though. Has been at first base for most of his appearances, also played some DH. Here is the pitch on the outside corner, and working back in with a 90-mile-an-hour fastball is Demby. We apologize for the technical difficulty. It's a little bit of a noise in the background here in Cotuit. 3-1 is popped up. Left side, running onto it is the catcher, and he makes the play. A good job by Ivan Gonzalez getting over and calling off the rest of his Cotuit infield to make the play for the second out. Sable pops out on a hitter's count, nonetheless. 2 down here in the 8th inning, and Jaron Duran steps in for his first at-bat.
I'm back, Sam, and no more buzzing. Isn't this nice?
What a great job done by our producer, Matt Weasel there. One of the best producers in the business. Probably the best producer on the Cape League, if I were to guess.
He's a genius.
Jaron Duran, his first at-bat of the day with 2 outs, fouls off the first pitch behind him. And this is a spot where the Gatemen are up by 11, but you really like to see Duran come in here and get a pinch hit single.
Yeah, you know, no matter what happens in these final couple of innings, the Gatemen are more than likely going to cruise to victory.
Duran fouls one off his foot, And the count now 0-2.
Yeah, but everybody is here to put on an individual display, show off for the scouts that are here from Major League Baseball teams or college teams or Team USA or wherever they're from. And there's a whole bunch here at Cotuit today. We haven't really seen this many at one game this season so far. But there's a lot of talent between these two teams, and you know, right now the Gatemen are putting on the show.
Strike three on the inside corner, and down looking is Jaron Duran. The Gatemen go down 1-2-3 here in the 8th inning. They lead the Cotuit Cavaliers 11-0 here on the Gatemen Baseball Network.
Did you know that Baseball Factory has partnered with the Cape League for the past 17 seasons? Baseball Factory is your resource for top-notch baseball training. With over 600 events nationwide for players age 8 to 18 and over 100,000 college success stories, you too can build your way to greatness with Baseball Factory. Visit baseballfactory.com to learn more.
It's back. The 2017 Friendlies Cape League All-Star Game will be played at Spillane Field, home of the Wareham Gatemen. Mark the date on your calendar, Saturday, July 22nd. Game time is 6 p.m., but the gates open at 2 p.m. One highlight will be the home run hitting contest. There will also be an autograph session and a large merchandise village with items from many of the teams. Be sure to buy your tickets now right here at the merchandise stand. Tickets are just $5, and part of the proceeds will support our Wareham Gatemen.
Welcome back here. It's the bottom half of the 8th inning. The Gatemen have put 16 hits on the board. They lead 11-0 over the Cotuit Cavaliers. And we are getting word that the 9th inning has been canceled due to darkness here in Cotuit. So this is the final half inning of work. Tanner Dodson back on the mound for the Gatemen, delivers a 92-mile-an-hour fastball upstairs. It's 1-0. Delivering very quickly. Here's the pitch. Inside to Chandler Avant, and it's now 2-0. As Dodson slows down now, but he doesn't. 2-0. Chop to third. Played by Metz. Fires to first in time to Sable. 1 out here in the 8th.
Yeah, and the sort of day that Tanner Dodson's had there on the diamond here at Lowell Park today, it's almost otherworldly. It's just incredible. You know, he comes out for the plate, hits 4 for 4, RBI, run, walk, and now he's going strong in his 3rd inning of work here. Just like Miller Hogan on Falmouth, it was the 3rd inning that Tanner Dodson had some struggles. He did give up a solo shot to Clayton Daniel, who only stands about 5'7".
The first pitch was fouled away by Cone. The second pitch comes in low for a ball. Dodson now working on a 1-1 count on Cone. The shortstop today is 0 for 2. Grounded to the second baseman. Duran, newly in the infield, fires over to first to Sable, and the Gatemen are 1 out away from a big victory here in Cotuit.
Yeah, and coming up to the plate right now is Kyle Alexander, wearing number 2. He came in the last half inning as a defensive replacement, so we won't see John Cresto's final at-bat, in which he was 0 for 2 with 2 strikeouts.
So in his first at-bat, it's Alexander who swings at the first pitch and fires it in the left field for a base hit. That's the first 2-out hit for the Cotuit Cavaliers today, their 3rd hit of the game, and it belongs to the substitute, Alexander.
Well,
and that eliminates the possibility for a complete 24 up, 24 down performance for this Gatemen pitching staff. It would have been a few hits, but
when you face the minimum, it means that you had help from your defense. On one occasion, it was a caught stealing from Willie McIver, the catcher. On another occasion, Jaron Duran tagged out a runner and had a double play onto first base. Just a lot of things really went well for the Gatemen today.
Dodson delivers a 1-0 inside. It's now 2-0. That fastball clocks in at 92.
Yeah, and it's really no wonder why the 9th inning was canceled here tonight. Darkness really starting to set in.
Michael Tolia is the hitter out of UCLA, chops it foul. Sable tried to keep it in fair territory, but he could not do so. And the count moves to 2-1 on Tolia, the Gig Harbor, Washington native. Also a former draft pick of the Colorado Rockies in 2016, but chose instead to attend the UCLA Bruins. That pitch grounded to the second baseman, Duran. He makes the easy play over to first in time, and the Gatemen defeat the Cotuit Kettleers 11-0 here on the road. A beautiful pitching performance from Miller Hogan, and Tanner Dodson gets the job done, and the Gatemen secure the 11-0 victory on 16 hits here in Cotuit on this in only 8 innings as well.
Yeah, 16 hits in 8 innings. That's nearly 2 per, but that's not exactly how it went. Big innings in the 2nd, in the 6th, and a couple more runs in the 3rd and in the 7th, respectively. Just when the Gatemen get hot, it's a full team effort, and the offense really put that on display tonight.
Absolutely, and it was 7 consecutive innings in which the Cotuit Kettleers only brought 3 batters to the plate, the minimum in any inning. And that stat alone just shows how dominant the pitching staff was today. Miller Hogan strikes out 6 batters in 5 innings of work. Dodson comes in, throws fastball after fastball after fastball, and he's got to be a candidate for your player of the game.
Well, he's going to be the player of the game tonight, going 4 for 4, a double, a walk, an RBI, a run scored, and then on the mound only giving up 2 hits through 3 innings of work in the 6th, 7th, and 8th. Was a truly fantastic performance in the DH and in the pitching role for Tanner Dodson tonight. He is our Wareham Gatemen player of the game. A really fantastic performance. And for the Gatemen moving forward, it's going to be hard to replicate a game like this tomorrow against Bourne, but you at least have to carry the momentum from it. And they did a really good job tonight getting the win. It's 11-0, but it's 1 win in the standings, and it's really going to help them.
A great job bouncing back from that devastating 11-inning loss, 8-4 to the Falmouth Commodores 2 nights ago. And Tanner Dodson with one of the best individual performances you'll see here on the Cape, with a great pitching performance followed up by a phenomenal performance at the plate. We thank you for listening to this broadcast of Wareham Gatemen Baseball here on the Gatemen Baseball Network. The general manager of the Wareham Gatemen is Andrew Lang. The producers of today's broadcast are Nick Veronesi and Matt Wieselthaler. Our sideline reporter today is Claudia Chikamian. Thanks to our beat writer, Matt Feld, and today's game host and national anthem singer, Jacob Toby. The next broadcast of Wareham Gatemen Baseball will begin tomorrow as the Wareham Gatemen return home to take on the Bourne Braves. That game starts at 6:30, and the coverage will begin on YouTube at 6 p.m. with the Gatemen Pregame Show. For Connor Federico, I am Sam Corman. Thanks for tuning in to this presentation of Wareham Gatemen Baseball on the Gatemen Baseball Network.